available from the concession stand later on tonight. We are here. This is Rise of the Warriors 2, Night 2. It is going to be one hell of a show, but for those who were in attendance last night, we saw a hell of a match between Chris Hero and Mason Childs. Mason Childs, of course, last year went all the way, winning Rise of the Warriors, winning the international tournament, and beating Chris Hero. Last night, Mason Childs lost to Chris Hero. End of the match. Obviously, there was some injury that Mason had discovered. I'm going to throw to the commission now for the update.
Well, unfortunately, last night, Mason did get a very serious injury. He broke his arm and has shattered both of his forearm bones and is currently in hospital. So, won't be seeing him tonight, unfortunately. And it's fairly serious. Not sure of time that he might be out, any limits so far, but that's all we have. So, hopefully it gets better soon.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I am known for a nice man, and I am known for a man who doesn't like to bag out on people. But Mason Childs got everything he deserved, getting his arm shattered by Chris Hero. Now let's have a big round of applause for that pasty, chubby sack of crap laying in hospital on a morphine drip, crying like a little bitch because someone bent his arm. Big round of applause, folks. Mr. St. Michael and myself, we've done a little thing. We've done a commemorative Mason Childs merchandise piece. You can see the cutout there, and you see it does have a bendy arm action, folks. It does have a bendy arm action. You can buy them at the merchandise desk. $12 for your Mason Childs stands with bendy arms. It will be a bestseller, folks. And you can say last night he came an arm short of victory. Before I leave and let you fine people here in Cleveland, I use the term loosely, fine people, enjoy the rest of the night. Chris Hero, I owe you a beer. You're like my brother for breaking Mason Childs' arm. Well done, sunshine, you're a champ. Feel free to marry my sister anytime you want.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, introducing first, weighing in at 125 kilograms, from Sydney, New South Wales, enter the machine, Blakestone! His opponent, accompanied to ringside by Donnie St. Michael, weighing in at 85 1/4 kilograms, from Brisbane, Queensland, the Revolution, Sterling!
Well, this the first of our second round matchups here in the Rise of the Warriors Night 2. The Machine, the Man Mountain Blakestone, set to take on the Revolution, Rick Sterling. Rick Sterling, fresh from a successful tour of Canada. He's only been back in Australia a couple of months, and right now the two of them out there looking like a before and after shot, and I think you can tell which is which of a bodybuilding commercial. Rick Sterling certainly not measuring up size-wise, and listen to the crowd already getting behind the Machine, Blakestone. This crowd is already set to explode here in Cleveland on night 2 of the Rise of the Warriors. We heard already in the ring, Mason Childs obviously not returning tonight, seriously injured after his first round matchup with Chris Hero. I can barely hear myself speak, but what I am seeing is Rick Sterling hiding between the ropes and doing his best to avoid Blakestone. That's just going to piss Blakestone off, that slap across the face. And look at Rick Sterling going for the leg and taking down the big man. He doesn't want to agitate Blakestone, that is for sure. If he can get this thing, unfortunately for him, if he is going to agitate Blakestone, Blakestone is just going to get angry. And if he gets angry, that is definitely not going to play in the favour of the Revolution, Rick Sterling. I'm joined back here at ringside now by Ed Locke. Ed, what do you think of the way this match is starting up?
I think Sterling's off to a rising start, and as I said, he cops two big punches right to the jaw. Blakestone winding him up for, a chop it was to be, but Rick Sterling cleverly moved out of the way, concentrates his attack to the knee, and then a chop by Rick Sterling, Mr. J.
Rick Sterling is out there delivering chops to Blakestone. Is he insane? Talking about bringing coals to Newcastle. He is trying to chop the man known for having the most devastating chops in Australian wrestling.
Courting disaster, I do believe.
He is courting disaster indeed. Listen to those chops and look at the attitude. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, Jesus. Blakestone peeling the chest off of Rick Sterling. I think I saw a nipple go flying back into the third row from that shot there. Rick Sterling, though, coming back and once again taking the leg out from under Blakestone, dropping him back down to the mat. And look at this. He's got him set up now in a Boston Crab. It'll be interesting to see with that weight advantage and just with the size of those monster legs of Blakestone whether he can hold it.
Rick Sterling giving away 40 kilograms in weight, and the strength of Blakestone comes to the fore. Swinging slam. He just planted Sterling. But Blakestone obviously having trouble with the knee. Spins back to his feet. Huge clothesline. Down goes Sterling. Another big clothesline by Blakestone. Rick Sterling gets dragged up to his feet and whipped into the ropes. Blakestone picks him up. High elevated inverted atomic drop and another big blow.
The force of that reverse atomic drop there, I believe it's entirely possible that Rick Sterling could be tasting the taste of his own scrotum after that shot, Ed. Picking him up now, huge full body slam, drops him down. I think he's going for the chop. He's setting him up for it for sure. Look at the big man, the security, the new security guard there. Croft is out. And look at this, look at Sterling, he's hooked it in. He's got the legs locked around, he's got the arm, holding it on there.
Triangle choke, Mr. J, triangle choke, a sure submission maneuver.
Blakestone trying to power out of it, but that is Rick Sterling brings a lot of things to the ball game, and one of them is the shoot fighting type background.
That's what's known in jiu-jitsu circles as an air choke. It takes away the breath. The man finally passes out. Unless he submits first, he'll pass out. I don't care how big you are, how strong you are. But Blakestone showing that superhuman strength, picking up Rick Sterling and powerbombing him.
Rick Sterling, though, hanging on still. Not for the second time, though. Blakestone drops him down. There's one for Croft. And Croft just rolls. Donny St. Michael can't believe it. Sterling goes for the triangle. Blakestone grabs him straight away. Sets him up on the shoulders. I think you know what this is, Ed. The slam of silence drops him down. Look at that cover for the 1, the 2, and the 3. Blakestone advances, and he advances easily over the prone carcass of one of the greatest wrestlers in Australia. Rick Sterling taken out in about 5 minutes by the monster Blakestone. Blakestone, a man on a mission. I said it last night, he is my pick for this tournament.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, your winner, who is now advanced to the final. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, next contest, a further match in the tournament, Rise of the Warriors. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Rise of the Warriors tournament. Introducing first, the future's final hope, weighing in at 90 kilograms from Capalaba in Queensland, Riot! His opponent weighing in at 89 kilograms, Mr. Yummy himself from Vega Alta, Puerto Rico, Esteban Molina!
Ash Riot and Esteban Molina going nose to nose out there. Both of the men victorious last night in first round matchups. You saw Ash Riot go over Kyote under, well, shall we say, controversial circumstances, with the inclusion of Rancid in the match. And obviously we saw Esteban Molina advancing over Rancid after Kyote got involved in that match. Both of these men here as a result of the actions of the two big men, Rancid and Kyote, who I believe will be hooking up later on tonight. But right now what we are seeing is another second round matchup. Ash Riot and Esteban Molina starting it off. Side headlock there from Ash Riot. Esteban comes up, wrenches around now on that wrist lock, wrenching down on it. Ash Riot trying to struggle his way out. Esteban holding on tight though, working through. There's the reversal from Ash Riot onto the self-proclaimed Mr. Yummy.
Ash Riot maintaining. Look at Esteban, reverse straight into a side headlock. Tight side headlock. But Ash Riot grabs the ropes to force an automatic break. Ash Riot, one of the best young up-and-coming wrestlers in all of Australia today, has worked throughout the country, and he's made a big name for himself, of course. Esteban, all the way from Puerto Rico, has wrestled extensively in his homeland, all throughout North America, and he has to be one of the favourites for the tournament tonight. Esteban, oh, outstanding. Both men duking it out in centre ring. Riot whips his opponent into the ropes, knee strike right to the jaw, Mr. J.
And look at that, a big back elbow now on Esteban. There's another one. Esteban tasting that back elbow of Ash Riot, the man from Capalaba. Sets it going, reverse, hangs on. Oh, we've seen him do that and then get out of the way. Ash Riot scouted it, came through with a big boot that sent him flying out onto the floor in front of us, Ed. Ash Riot now picking him up head first, introducing him to that side of the ring. Now bringing him back in the hard way, picking him up by the neck, picking him up, chop across the chest, almost an open hand slap. There's one from Esteban. Esteban sets him up, reverses him, drops him back, holding him there in place, dropping him down, back first onto that ring apron. That is solid steel under there, and I'll tell you one thing, when backs and steel meet, Ed, the back will always get the worst of it.
Most certainly. Referee putting a standing count on both men outside the ring, have the count of 10 to return. Esteban looks the fresher of the two. Ash Riot struggling to regain his composure. Both men on the apron. Esteban Molina returns to the squared circle. Ash still on the apron. Esteban down and inside, kicks out the legs of Ash Riot. Ash Riot down on the floor once again, Mr. J.
He certainly didn't land well on that one. Falling down once again. That has got to be a shock to the system. He shook the back up earlier. This time he fell down, landed head, shoulder and wrist into that middle side of the ring. Things definitely going the way of Mr. Yummy at the moment. He is taking advantage. He is looking fresh. You've got to remember last night, Ash Riot, big match against Kyote. Esteban Molina virtually had a bye through with his match against Rancid. Kyote came out, took Rancid out. Esteban Molina took the match in about 5 seconds. And if you count 3 of that as a pinfall, that's only 2 seconds worth of work to get the paycheck, to get the job done, and to advance through to the second round. Esteban Molina coming in fresh. Look at him now. He's got Ash Riot up on the shoulders. Ash Riot trying to fight out of it. Manages to do so. Pushes off. Comes through. Big knee lift. Ash Riot tumbles into the center. Esteban rights himself. Little not sure of what was happening, but definitely still with the advantage in this one, Ed.
Esteban Molina on top of the action, just as Mr. J said. Forces Ash Riot onto the ropes, whips him into the opposite ropes. Ash Riot, go down, folding body press, 1-2 only. A count of 2. Ash Riot to his feet, misses that clothesline. Esteban jabs with authority right, and an eye gouge. That wasn't quite so yummy for young Ash Riot then. Esteban cinching in for the Mahastral. Cradle 1 and 2. Count of 2 only, Mr. J.
Well, he hit the flip, the flop, and the poke out there, I guess is what you'd call it. Then he went for the cover, but still too early to take away from Ash Riot. Ash Riot, you wouldn't guess it from looking at him out there. He's only been in the sport for around about a year. Rise of the Warriors, I believe, once again, another of the men that debuted. Ash Riot has come a long way in a very short period of time. Molina now setting him up, picking him up on the shoulders, taking him away from that ringside. It looks like Ash Riot was almost trying to hang on there. He's trying to fight it off. Molina's trying to climb up with it, but it's whether the strength of Molina gets it done. You can see him picking up, spinning round, dropping down from that top, almost a spinning Samoan drop type maneuver from the second rope there, dropping down from, it's got to have been Ash Riot, must have been 6 or 8 feet in the air, coming down full force onto that back that was already injured from the side of the ring. Esteban Molina taking apart the back of Ash Riot.
Ash Riot very slow to get to a vertical base. He's pretty much only on his knees. Esteban standing tall, willing Ash Riot to get up and fight. Second round action, Rise of the Warriors tournament here at Cleveland Assembly Hall tonight. Punches and a whip into the ropes by Esteban Molina and a running clothesline. Drop kick right to the chin. Can Ash recover? Esteban with that running clothesline. Giant Baba type clothesline, if you will.
Well, did you see the speed on it? He hit it with so much force and speed. He just about went out of the ring with the force that he was hitting that clothesline with. Waiting for Ash. There's a kick to the midsection. Looks like he's setting him up, rolling through. Now Ash Riot caught him. Backslide position. Ash up on his toes for that added leverage. Ducks under the clothesline, grabs the arm, crucifixes him back, hooks it through for a 2 count there from Ash Riot on Molina. Spinning back kick there. Caught him low almost from the looks of it. Set him up on the shoulders. Airplane spin. He's going old school on him. Spinning around. Dropping straight down with it. Dropping him down with authority. Chest ramming in. Rolling over now. Rolling pin cover. Up on the toes there. Still only about a 2.5 count. Molina far too fresh to be put away. If you can use the word fresh with a man who refers to himself as Mr. Yummy. But either way, Ash Riot with not enough to put away Molina at this stage.
Ash Riot forcing Esteban Molina back into the corner. Positioning him up on the very top turnbuckle, smashes away, blows right to the jaw by Ash Riot. Ash Riot's climbing up after he's picking up Molina, trying to get a fireman's carry, but Esteban puts the elbows, forearm jolt, has him on his shoulders, Mr. J.
Got him up, trying to drop him. He got him straight down for a 2 and a 3. That is a maneuver he calls the yummy drop. It definitely wasn't looking too yummy, nor too palatable, if you will, for Ash Riot, who drops down in defeat as Esteban Molina advances in the tournament.
Another matchup coming in the Rise of the Warriors tournament. Second round action, Rise of the Warriors tournament. Introducing first, weighing in at 91 kilograms from Adelaide, South Australia, Damian Slater! His opponent weighing in at 75 kilograms, originally from Africa, now making his home in Auckland, New Zealand. He is the light player, Roger Ventura!
Well, ladies and gentlemen, last night was a huge night for men that were destined to face each other, men with a lot of styles that meshed tremendously, and that is exactly what we're going to be seeing here again tonight when we see the light player Roger Ventura going up against Damian Slater, two of the top technical wrestlers, both men incredibly well skilled in ground grappling, both men incredibly adept at using high-flying techniques. Roger Ventura, the New Zealand icon, and the man from South Australia hook it up in the center of the ring, collar and elbow tie-up as Slater powers Ventura back to the corner. Clean break there for the referee. Slater backs away. Roger Ventura dressed in the black, Slater in the white. Both of these men look incredibly in shape out there. Possibly two of the more in-shape wrestlers I've seen in Australian wrestling ring. Both of these guys, tremendous height and weight advantages. Got to go to Damian Slater, but only slightly. Speed and stamina I think I could give to either man at this point, but either way, both of these guys setting up now. This is a match that I have definitely been looking forward to seeing tonight, because these are two of the guys that can go, and they can go all night long. These guys could go 60 minutes easily, so it'll be interesting to see exactly where they go.
International contest could be a main event anywhere in Australasia. Damian Slater, of course, has wrestled in the United States, as has the light player Roger Ventura. Both skillful competitors, both observe the rules of wrestling as it should be. Big shoulder tackle by Ventura. Oh, look at that takedown, clever takedown into a bow and arrow hold by Damian Slater. South Australia's finest, Damian Slater with that bow and arrow. But look at Ventura, he's in for the pin, 1-2 count only.
Roger Ventura knows where he is in the ring every second there. Roger Ventura, he doesn't even sleep on his back. He knows so much about professional wrestling. He's one of those guys that if he falls over in a second flat, he gets his shoulder up even if he slips on the ice, Ed. That is the training that this man has had. He just knows where he is any second of the time, and if he can get that shoulder up with a 0 count, that is exactly what he'll be doing. There are some guys that'll wait. Look at that drop kick. There are some guys that'll wait for a 2 count, get that added extra bit of breathing time. Ventura, he's smart. He knows he's going to be out there as quick as humanly possible. And Damian Slater now, what he's doing here is trying to tire out Roger Ventura. Roger Ventura, I said it earlier, he can go all night. He's going to take a lot of energy to expel to get this man tired. But look at that, wrenching him into the corner, following through, shoulder block into the stomach, into the chest there, trying to drive the air out of him, take the life out of him, trying to outgas him, if you will. And look at him just dropping down now. He has him breathing hard. Now what he's trying to do is have him dazed as well. He's going to have him seeing stars any way possible. Damian Slater definitely determined. Damian Slater, of course, last year went through and ended up against Chris Hero, only lost out against international talent. You want to talk about international talent? He's in there with some again tonight from New Zealand, the light player, Roger Ventura.
Chop to the chest by Damian Slater. Another chop to the chest by Slater. Slater whips his opponent into the ropes, misses the drop kick. Ventura cleverly held onto the ropes, elbow drop for a count of 2 only. Roger Ventura, possibly the quickest man on the mat in this Rise of the Warriors tournament. Kick right to the spine by the light player Roger Ventura, and that was anything but a light kick right to the back, Mr. J.
And now Ventura picking up Slater, backs him into the ropes. New Zealand whip off. catches him up on the shoulder, nearly I think Slater to fight out of it. He certainly did that time. Look at that beautiful bridge on that Northern Lights suplex, hooking it in, full bridge, full pressure. Once again though, you saw Ventura there getting out of it as quickly as he could, favouring the back of the head and favouring that neck and throat. Ventura has obviously been hurt by some of the action that Damian Slater has been throwing at him. And when, look at what I'm saying, Roger Ventura hurt. Any normal man would have already been out of this match from the moves that Damian Slater has done to him. This is a testament to the strength and the skill of Roger Ventura that he's still playing. Look at that. Smart enough to get out of the way so Slater only connects with ring. Ventura picks him up, drops him back, straight onto the back of his head, drops him down. Now there's a stop for his trouble. Bounces off the ropes and a leg drop. It's like he's painted a target now on that chest and neck of Damian Slater, because all of those have been targeting the exact same spot. He's like a Terminator out there. He's got that target set and every one of them was hitting home.
The light player Roger Ventura moving in on Damian Slater. Drop to the chest by the light player Roger Ventura. Oh, big kick right to the chest. That's got to take the wind right out of the sails of Damian Slater. Roger Ventura pushes his man into the ropes. Another chop to the chest. Ventura cinching in for a big suplex and a bridge for 1 and a 2. 2 count only, Mr. J.
Not enough leverage from where I was staying to get Damian Slater with that move, but it was picture perfect. The snap of the suplex was full impact and a perfect bridge on it as well. The Slater rolls underneath that clothesline, comes up with a boot. There's a return from Ventura and a second one. Drops down with that clubbing forearm to the back of the head. Slater down in the corner here in front of us. Roger Ventura now stomping an absolute chug hole in him in the corner there, and walking it dry, as they would say. Now he's picking Slater up by the ears, pulling him back into the center of the ring, setting him up once again. Full body slam, full impact, full weight. Ventura is signaling up. He's saying he's going up. Could be time for some sort of Air New Zealand attack, Ed.
Ventura well known for his 450 splash. Can he hit it? No, Slater. Rearguard action, hit those ropes, and Ventura is caught up on that top turnbuckle. Damian Slater climbs up after him, cinches in, front facelock, hooks the arm over his own head. Looks like superplex time coming up. Superplex by Damian Slater. Can he capitalise, Mr. J?
Huge superplex there from Slater. Goes over top, hooks the legs. 2 count only, says the referee. Obviously, both of these men obviously fatigued just from the beating that either man has been giving in this matchup. Ventura now whipped off, comes underneath, holds him through, single arm, flapjacks him down, goes behind, got him in that rear naked choke. This is what he won with last night. He's obviously going what brought him to the dance here in this second round matchup. He's got that rear naked choke, hooking it in and pulling it back, and you can hear all the fans getting behind Roger Ventura, and I guess it's hard to tell whether they are supporting Roger Ventura or encouraging Damian Slater. I think we've got the fans just supporting one hell of a wrestling match is what we're seeing, Ed.
Roger Ventura puts the boot right to the back of the neck of Damian Slater. Ventura winds his opponent up, but resistance there by Damian Slater. Damian Slater again holds onto that top rope. Big kick right to the body. Ventura whips his opponent into the ropes. Oh, look at Slater up for a bridge for 1 and a 2. 2 count only. Crucifix by Ventura. 2 count only again, Mr. J.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about with Ventura. He's obviously studied the tapes. That is one of Damian Slater's key pinning positions. Look at that beautiful sunset flip. And now look at, rolls up on behind, hooks the legs, comes down again, rolls through with it, does Ventura, rolls on top, puts it back into a pinning position. Referee out of position there for a 2 count. For a 2 count only from Ventura. Ventura had him pinned for about a 4. Both of the men, same idea, both going for a flying cross body, connect with each other, almost signaling a big X out there as both of these men go chest to chest, stomach to stomach, and both men down on the mat as the fans show their appreciation for one hell of a match.
Who will recover first? Both men in superb physical condition. It's Slater, but he runs face first into a big boot. And the light player, Roger Ventura, again with that rear naked choke. He's got, look at Slater. Slater with a TKO counter. TKO grabs the legs. This is it, 1 and 2 and 2 count only, Mr. J.
2 count only once again from Roger Ventura. Even the New Zealanders in the audience were beginning to count him out after that one. But Roger Ventura still manages to come out with a 2. Roger Ventura setting him up almost with a sleep. Look at that spin kick. What a beautiful kick. Targeted him, goes on top, sitting full body weight. You notice he had his full body weight on top of him, trying to just weigh down on him there. Ventura believed it was a 3 count. Referee saying it was only a 2. I said last night, with the time difference between here and New Zealand, you should just give him it as a 3. This time I'm not quite so sure. Comes through. Big drop kick from Slater. Sends him tumbling over. Slater now setting him up. Dragon sleeper type maneuver. Picking him up. There's a knee to the head. Caught him through with it. Ventura comes through. Caught. I thought he was going for the wheelbarrow slam. Caught him through. Sat down on it. Slater still comes up. Big running clothesline takes Ventura down to the mat. Slater is hurt and breathing heavy. Can't take advantage straight away, but he's signaling for something out there, Ed. I think he might be going to the top.
Damian Slater climbing those ropes. Look at Ventura. Oh, nips up and lands a big forearm smash right to the jaw. Second forearm, this time on the neck. Ventura climbing the ropes himself. Both men perched up on the ropes. Roger Ventura calling for what could be a Hurricane Rana. He's calling for support from the fans. Hurricane Rana. Oh, roll through, double leg Nelson, 1 and 2 count only, Mr. J.
What a beautiful Hurricane Rana we saw from Roger Ventura. You want to talk about scouting. Damian Slater saw it coming, rolled all the way through with it into a pinning position, only a 2 count. Both men chopping away. Then those forearms. Now we're going to the kicks. Roger Ventura with those multiple slaps, forearms. Now Damian Slater coming through with those Kabashi-like chops. Standing enziguri to the back of the head from Roger Ventura. What will it take at this point of the match? That's what both men have to be asking. Roger Ventura, you saw him making the hand signal. He's going to the top.
It's got to be the 450 splash. One of the favourite manoeuvres of the light player, Roger Ventura, 450. Roll through. Super kick by Damian Slater. Damian Slater cinches in. Got him up, AC driver, 1, 2, 3.
There we go. What a tremendous match. What a tremendous match here. We're only 3 matches in, and I have seen what could be a match of the year already. And Damian Slater and the light player Roger Ventura. Damian Slater taking the win after that big AC driver. Oh my God, this whole match could have been anybody's for just about the entire length of it. But when it all came down to it, the man from South Australia, Damian Slater, was able to put the man from New Zealand away and advance in this tournament.
He's standing 6'3", weighs in at 100 kilos. Hailing from Brisbane, he is the current PWA Queensland champion. This is Mark Davis! His opponent, standing 6'5", weighing in at 105 kilos, hailing from Metropolis, this is Chris Hero!
Well, here's another of our international matchups here. The man from Metropolis, Chris Hero, setting to go one-on-one with the Queensland champion, Mark Davis. This, of course, a second round matchup in the Rise of the Warriors tournament. The PWA Queensland title, not on the line. It is only, all that is on the line here is a chance to go through to the next round in the Rise of the Warriors tournament. Chris Hero last night, fantastic match with Mason Childs. Mason Childs, of course, injured as a result. It'll be interesting to see what Hero brings to the plate tonight against Mark Davis.
And just reiterating, we saw a very determined and even more physical Chris Hero last night in action against Mason Childs, and as you know, it resulted in Mason Childs breaking his arm in 2 places. Both men lock up. Hero quick to take the arm of young Mark Davis straight into a top wrist lock. Hero at 6'5" has 2 inches in reach advantage on big Mark Davis. He's using it to perfection at the moment. The young man from Beenleigh in Queensland, down to both knees. He reverses into an arm bar of his own. Arm bar applied by Mark Davis. Hero trying to roll through. Davis maintaining the pressure on that arm bar with wrist lock, Mr. J.
Chris Hero rolling through, trying to come out of it, comes behind Mark Davis there. Mark Davis was trying to hang on to the wrist. Unfortunately, he's let go. Hero goes behind, hanging on to it. Davis trying to break out of it there. Trying to grab a leg there, manages to go behind, holds through. Interesting that we're seeing almost some classic wrestling action here from Mark Davis and Chris Hero both. Interesting way that we're starting out. I would not have expected it in this match from these men, how to start. And now Chris Hero holding him there in that surfboard type positioning. I think he was stepping on the leg there as well. Now he's dropped him down to the mat, wrenching around on the arms. I don't know if anyone can see it from this vantage point, but I feel like I've just stepped into a Cypress Hill video here. And Chris Hero working on the arms, working on the wrist of Mark Davis, bringing him back up to his feet. Pulling round, he's got both of those arms locked, wrenching round on the wrist, holding him in, rolls behind, goes behind, spins him around, grabs the left arm again, working through now, working on the elbow and the wrist, powering around on it. Mark Davis trying to power out and turn him around on that maneuver.
Beautiful tight arm bar applied by Chris Hero. Mark Davis trying to get an underhook, but no, Hero putting the pressure on. Look at that arm. It's stuck in that arm bar of Chris Hero. Hero rolls through. Both men to their feet, earning an applause, a round of applause from the crowd here at Cleveland Assembly Hall. Both men touch hands momentarily, show of respect. Chris Hero and Mark Davis, interlocking finger grip, also known as the Greco-Roman knuckle lock. Both men straining away. Who will get the advantage, Mr. J?
Chris Hero, of course, coming here with amazing international experience. Fought all around the world. I believe it's 14 countries around the world that we've seen that Chris Hero has fought in. Many of us have witnessed his action on tapes, on DVDs, on the internet, everywhere else you've seen Chris Hero wrestle. He has returned to Australia once again to be a part of the Rise of the Warriors tournament. His first appearance in Australia last year for the Rise of the Warriors tournament, a tournament which he went all the way through to the finals, faced off against Mason Childs, eventually losing. Mason Childs winning the international title and garnering himself an international respect as a result. Now Chris Hero wrenching off, rolls through, takes him down. Mark Davis back up, caught again, rolls through. Chris Hero rolls him back now, goes underneath the arm, drags him down, almost Mexican style arm drag. There it comes through with a Japanese style arm drag into that figure 4 arm bar, wrenching down on it. Chris Hero down on the mat as the fans here at Cleveland show their approval for Queensland's own Mark Davis. The fans also getting behind Chris Hero though. Chris Hero, like I said, a huge international rep, a man who has been incredibly popular, incredibly hated, but certainly garnered huge reaction and huge respect wherever he has wrestled, and now he is here in Queensland, in there with the PWA Queensland champion, Mark Davis. Mark Davis once again with a big arm drag, taking him down, setting it into that arm lock. Hero rolls underneath. Davis back up, holding him with that figure 4 arm bar type maneuver. Hero back up to his feet, trying to make the most of that height advantage. Pushing Davis back into the corner. Mark Davis, of course, coming into this match with a victory over Trik Davis, and I guess what we will call the first ever Davis Cup final. Mark Davis advanced over the internationally schooled Trik Davis, a man who has faced Chris Hero in the past. I'm sure he didn't know what to expect with Mark Davis. What he got was a loss in the first round of this Rise of the Warriors tournament. Now what we are seeing is the Queensland champion, title not on the line, being thrown out of the ring by Chris Hero. Chris Hero waiting for him to get back to his feet, almost stalking him, bouncing off the ropes, comes through, somersault backwards over the top, caught, Davis ducks under, catches Hero with a big backhanded chop. Hero out in front of the ringside fans. There's another chop from Davis. There's a third one. You can see the pain etched on the face of Chris Hero as Mark Davis goes to town with those chops across the chest. Mark Davis, of course, him and Mason Childs, BFFs, best friends forever. Mark Davis, I think, perhaps looking for it. Oh! Chris Hero throws the table in front of Mark Davis, then dives over the table, runs through with a big shot to the jaw of Mark Davis. That is certainly making the most of the furniture. This man could almost get a job as a furniture removalist with the skill that he showed there, moving it around, throwing it in the way of Mark Davis, setting him up. Big chop.
And the experience of Hero coming to the fore. Wicked chops by Chris Hero. Oh, again he lights up the chest of young Mark Davis. Davis gets rolled in under the bottom rope. Chris Hero up to the apron. Senton, slingshot senton, splash for a 1 and a 2. 2 count only, Mr. J.
Sometimes it's like you're watching The Matrix when Chris Hero is out there. He jumps over the rope, turns in midair with that slingshot senton, comes down sideways after turning in midair with full force, adding extra force by turning his body weight in midair. And now he's just working Mark Davis, keeping him down on the mat, keeping him down low with those beats, with those managed mammoth chops. Chris Hero, and there's a stomp to the hand as well. Mark Davis, usually all smiles in the ring. He's usually out there to have fun. He knows it's all business out there tonight with that big forearm shot there. Now look at that, working it there with that forearm to the side of the head, and there's a boot to the side of the head to follow it up.
In for the cover with a 1 and a 2, but a kick out by gutsy young Mark Davis. Chris Hero, it must be said, in control of this contest at the moment. Cinches in with a front face lock. Davis on his knees, caught in that front face lock. Referee checking out the action, seeing if Mark Davis wishes to submit Davis back to a vertical base. Punches, series of punches to the midsection of Chris Hero by Mark Davis. Mark Davis whips, no. Oh, big roaring elbow by Chris Hero. Chris Hero just gets caught with an elbow himself. Davis charges in, misses. Big Yakuza kick right to the head. Hero grabs a leg for a 1 and a 2. Kick out by Davis.
You're in Queensland now, Ed. We don't ever call that the Yakuza kick. In case there's anyone in attendance, I think you'll find that as a legitimate businessman's kick. And now Chris Hero, there's another kick to the back of Mark Davis. Mark Davis down on the mat, obviously in pain. If he wasn't in pain before, certainly that big running kick, that big mammoth kick that had him checking for teeth in the corner. And look at Hero going behind. And look at that big shot just across the front of the face there. And there's another one. Here is another one. He is just, I guess, trying to say this is a sport. This is professional wrestling. Welcome to Wrestling 101, Mr. Davis. Mark Davis, certainly, you'd almost, I mean, I guess you'd call him a rookie. Another one, standing senton splash. Drop down full body weight into the chest and stomach of Mark Davis. Look at Mark Davis out there. He's breathing heavy. And is it any wonder with the punishment that Chris Hero is handing out?
No doubt about it, Chris Hero showing his superiority here tonight. But look at Davis. He's just copped 2 huge jabs right to the jaw. He's manning up. Chop. Both men exchanging chops. Both men to their feet. Wicked chop. Strong chop. Both. Oh. Killer elbow smash by Chris Hero. Chris Hero setting him up for a headbutt. Right to the forehead. Davis looking dazed and confused. A roaring headbutt, if you will, Mr. J.
Certainly coming through with added force, spinning around, head to the face. Looked like it might have even gone to the nose of Mark Davis. Davis is down. He hasn't come back up again after those multiple shots. Chris Hero definitely going towards the head and neck of Mark Davis, trying to perhaps even knock him out, certainly trying to daze Mark Davis. Mark Davis, some may argue that he's a little dazed when he comes out here at the best of times. He's certainly going to be walking away from this one with not all of his, well, with a few screws loosed upstairs, because Chris Hero is definitely rattling them all up there at the moment. Look at that powerful forearm there across the side of the head. Just look at him throwing them down across the head, the chest, and the body of Mark Davis. Another mammoth chop across the chest. And there's another one. And this tape, this DVD cannot do justice to the sound that these chops are giving off here in the Cleveland Assembly Hall. Hero setting him up, gets caught with a back elbow from Davis, runs through, Davis out of the way, calling him out again, runs through with a back elbow, runs out, comes back, Christina Aguilera to Chris Hero. Chris Hero, this is Miss Aguilera. Have you met before? You certainly have now. No more introductions are needed. They are practically going steady because he just went ass to mouth.
Cheek to cheek, if you will, Mr. J. But Hero back to his feet. Both men exchanging big blows. Look at the chest, the welted chest of Mark Davis. Davis with an elbow shot. Davis picks up Chris Hero. Full body slam into center ring by Mark Davis. Davis, could he be on a roll? Whips his opponent into the ropes. Back body drop. The spine of Hero impacting onto the canvas. Davis pushing home his advantage. Big clothesline. Hero up and over onto the floor.
Chris Hero on his feet on the outside. Davis sails through the ropes. Looked like he almost tried to hit a flying Christina Aguilera through the ropes. Hero's back in the second row from that shot from Mark Davis, flying between the ropes. Hero, both men out on the floor. Davis to his feet, grabs Hero by the scruff of his neck, throws him back into the ring. Hero back to his feet. Davis blocks, comes through, jumps over. Hero up on the shoulders, drops him down. Death Valley drop. Drops down, hooks the leg, 2. Oh, must have been about 2.5 there. But you can say what you like about Chris Hero. Chris Hero earlier clotheslined over the top rope, flipped over and landed on his feet, people. Chris Hero back to his feet again. Shot to the side. Davis bounces off. Hero grabs the arm, spins around. Colt's rolling through. Big boot to the side of the head. Hooks the leg for a 2. I thought that was almost a 3. Hero did as well. He's querying the referee, but Mark Davis managed to get that shoulder up at about a 2.5 count, Ed. Huge boot there, following up that rolling elbow. Hero can't believe it. Look at the expression on his face, and hear his words designated at Mark Davis.
Chris Hero putting the huge shots onto the face of Mark Davis. How in hell is the young man on his feet and firing back? Elbows, forearms, Mark Davis. Oh, just caught a big shot. Chop to that welted chest. Jab right to the jaw. Chris Hero gets hit with a drop kick by Mark Davis. Davis off the ropes. Oh, drop kick. 1 foot drop kick to the face by Hero. Big clothesline, both men down.
Hero turned inside out from that clothesline. Mark Davis now setting him up, picking him up, dropping him down with it. Hooks the leg. 2. Was that 3? Was that 3? I think the referee's saying he kicked out. That must have been about 2 9/10. That was incredibly close there. Dropping him down with that fisherman buster. Mark Davis waiting for Hero, back to it. Mark Davis bleeding from the chest now, from those welts of those chops. He's returning some of the chops to his favor. Davis comes through. Hero shrugs, rolling elbow, bounces through. There's a second one. Big rolling elbow again. Hero floats over for the 2 and the 3. The 2 mammoth rolling elbows. The rolling elbows that have put away many a man. And unfortunately for Mark Davis, just too much out here tonight for the PWA Queensland champion as the man from Metropolis, Chris Hero. Chris Hero succeeds in advancing once again in the Rise of the Warriors tournament as he advances into the next round.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, your winner and advancing into the semi-finals of the Rise of the Warriors tournament from Metropolis in the USA, Chris Hero! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, our next contest will be a 12-man elimination tag team match. Introducing team number 1,
12-man elimination tag team match. Team PWA Nightmare going up against PWA Queensland. Donny St. Michael even suiting it up again. I think my eyes are still bleeding from having watched him drop the tights here up on stage. I will say one thing though, that PWA Queensland has the best looking camera girls I think I have seen anywhere in this goddamn country, if not the world. Corey J. Rush thinking that he's got things going on.
You got my security, Nightmare Assassin's Squad, Donny St. Michael, Indipendent, Donny St. Michael.
I believe Rush is tagging himself into the match here. Dave Brahma leaving the ring and bringing in the big
Jonathan Croft, the bodyguard, the personal enforcer of Mark Williamson.
And this is look at Rush. Look at Rush. This is a guy who was teaming with Nightmare only a couple of shows ago. Now he's in there trying to make friends with the PWA Queensland guys. They want nothing about it. They want nothing of this boy band reject, this Macaulay Culkin looking freak, the man wearing the Nick Carter shirt. These people want nothing to do with him. Croft has grabbed him by the hair, picking him up by his frosted tips, picking him up.
This maneuver used to be called the Dole Check. Jonathan Croft has told me since he's under the tutelage of Mark Williamson, it is now the paycheck. 1, 2, 3.
And I guess that means Corey J. Rush is on his way back to Boytown.
J. Rush has been eliminated. He is back on his way to Boytown.
He will be home alone, let me tell you. Rolling out, that is one man down. Soul now getting in the ring with Dave Brahma. Dave Brahma in the red. Soul coming through, taking him over, dropping down. Dave Brahma going behind, picking him up, wrenching round on that arm twist, arm breaker, working through on it. This is 12-man elimination style. I'm noticing Corey J. Rush is still lying there at ringside. Sorrow in the ring now, going for the bridge there and going for the pin on Soul. Sorrow, of course, a former Queensland champion. Soul now coming through, dropping down with the knees to the back of the head, to the side of the head, working over Sorrow. I said it last night, I'll say it again. The hardest knees in professional wrestling belong to the Pearl of the Orient, Soul.
And he showed those knees and the big foot strikes last night against Blakestone in a great effort, a losing effort, but a great effort against the monster from Sydney.
Sorrow now drops Johnny Gunn down to the match, tagging in Phoenix. Phoenix coming into the match, already going to the top. Double-footed stomp right on the back of the British badass. And Johnny Gunn down to the mat. Phoenix hooking him in for those knees of his own, setting him up, grabbing him, throwing him over the back. Johnny Gunn rolling into his corner. Surprised he didn't try and roll all the way through and make the tag. This match is an elimination style matchup. It would make sense to do quick tags to not get tired. It's certainly going to play in favor of your team. And you want to talk about a rivalry, AJ Istria and Dave Ross. These guys have had many matches. Dave Ross, everyone has said that he has the number of AJ Istria. AJ Istria tags himself out. He wants no part of it. He's tagged in Johnny Lucas, Mark Williamson's idiot cousin. Johnny Lucas tagged into this match now. Johnny Lucas doesn't know when he's outmatched. He's too stupid to know that he's in there with Dave Ross, former Australian Greco-Roman champion. Look at him, bring him straight into the corner of the PWA Queensland boys.
He's in the wrong part of town. Dave Brahma coming in. Suplexes Lucas with authority, drags him up, rams him face first into the buckles. Brahma makes the tag.
And for the first time in a PWA Queensland ring, we are seeing Robby Irons coming out there. Reversal there from Lucas, throws Irons into the corner. I believe this is Irons' debut match. We've seen him come out a few times. I believe if you check out a DVD, you can see him run out and get slammed out of his boots by Blakestone. Look at that move from Istria. Istria set him up. I think Istria doesn't admire Irons' Wolverine-style haircut out there, and he doesn't want to see if Irons has any type of berserker rage. So they are taking him out of there before we can see any snickety, bootsy, snoochy booches out there right now. Look at the speed on that clothesline. Double knees. The flying knees attacks. Now Istria swings through as well. You want to talk about how deadly those knees are. Look at what they've done to Irons. There's the tag, and here comes the big man.
Jonathan Croft facing off with Robby Irons, pushes him disdainfully to the canvas. Jonathan Croft, the man mountain from the ACT, now acting as bodyguard for Mark Williamson. Irons unleashing on the big man, whips him into the ropes, no, gets reversed, and taken down with a huge clothesline by Jonathan Croft.
Irons definitely hit the mat hard. Slow to get to his feet. Helped up with two big handfuls of hair from the big man. Setting him up, picking him up on the shoulder, setting him up, holding him up there. Look at the strength. They're just walking back on that walking suplex. Full impact. That man's got to be over 300 pounds easily. And look at him doing the big man two-step right into the chest of Robby Irons.
Jonathan Croft is indeed in excess of 130 kilograms. He's dragging Irons up by those goody-type sideburns. And he's putting in a big chop, coming right up. Wicked chop.
I believe my old colour co-commentator, I think you know him, the fabulous Sebastian, he refers to those mutton chops as bugger chops. I'm not sure exactly why. Something about the grip, he tells me, but either way, that's the only mention I'm going to try and give him tonight. Oh, listen to that chop as the skin peels like paint off a wall on the chest of Robby Irons. He'd want to have skin of iron after chops like that. Big clothesline there from the big man. Mark Williamson, he is obviously making sure his man is earning his money because he is tearing apart young Robby Irons here tonight.
Irons stuck under a clothesline, explodes with a dropkick. Robby Irons, dropkick number 2. Jonathan Croft still on his feet. Sorrow into the ring with Irons, whip the big man into the ropes. Double clothesline, down goes Jonathan Croft.
And I think that might be the first time in this match that I've really seen the big man down. And he is not happy about it. And neither is Mark Williamson. He has paid good money for this man's services. He does not want to see him looking bad in the center of the ring. And talking about looking bad, here comes Johnny Lucas once again. Williamson is leaving the ringside area and the big man is leaving with him. I believe he has it part of his contract that he cannot be anything less than 10 feet away from Mark Williamson at any time. I think Mark Williamson, he's upset about what Blakestone might still be trying to do to him after last night. But we're seeing in the center of the ring, Sorrow going to work on Johnny Lucas and now tagging in Phoenix. Double drop kick on Lucas. Sorrow definitely always a favourite here in the PWAQ ring.
Phoenix putting the boots to his fallen opponent, Johnny Lucas. Phoenix winds up his opponent, whips him into the ropes. Phoenix with a huge clothesline. Down goes Johnny Lucas.
Lucas now brought back to his feet by Phoenix. Couple of knee lifts. There's a third one, backing him into the corner. Irish whip off, sends him in, runs through, catches a monkey, flips him out. Johnny Lucas lands right on that tailbone, on the coccyx if you will, and tags in the British badass Johnny Gunn. Sorrow in as well. I don't know if I saw a tag. Sorrow is saying there was a tag. I'm not sure. I might have missed it. Either way, both men in the ring, picking him up, running through. Heart attack like. Sorrow making the cover for the 2. Oh, that was a 2 count only. I thought he had him after that maneuver, but young Johnny Gunn manages to kick out at the 2 count. Phoenix tagged back in. Sorrow holds Gunn in position for Phoenix to get in the boot. Irish whip off, reversed from Johnny Gunn. Ducks under the clothesline, catches him, head and arm, shoulder suplex over the top, dropping him head first. Phoenix definitely with things going his way. Sorrow's telling him to pick him up.
That was a hammerlock suplex. Johnny Gunn landed on his head 2nd time in 2 nights running. Big power slam by Phoenix for a 1 and a 2. Lucas provides the save.
That jackhammer type maneuver broken up from Johnny Lucas. I think his partner would have been gone had Phoenix been able to keep the cover. Now Sorrow coming in, setting him on. Double arm underhook DDT. Drops him head first, implants him into the ring for a 2. That was Lucas once again coming through with a kick to the side of the head. Drops down now on Gunn. Phoenix coming in again. Slingshots him up into the corner turnbuckle there. Dropping down over the knees. Look at this. Oh! Guillotines him back down. Goes for the cover there. Now Croft's back in. Oh! Big shot from that side on Phoenix. There's one on Sorrow as well. One for Irons, 2. Drops him down from Croft. Croft sends him down to the mat. Referee has called for the bell. I believe he has disqualified Croft. Donnie St. Michael. I believe Croft has been disqualified. Oh, Donnie St. Michael with the world's ugliest leg drop. Was that all 3 men being eliminated? I do believe that Johnny Lucas, Johnny Gunn, and Donnie St. Michael have just eliminated Phoenix and Sorrow and Irons, leaving only Dave Ross and Dave Brahma to face off almost the full combined might of PWA Nightmare. Snap suplex from Dave Brahma now. Gunn introduced to that top turnbuckle. Shoulder block from Brahma onto Johnny Gunn in the corner. Johnny Gunn moved in position. Brahma goes to the top. Comes right down on the arm and shoulder of Johnny Gunn. That could quite easily separate the shoulder, if not divorce it entirely. Irish whip reversed. Drop kick there from Johnny Gunn. Looks like Johnny Gunn might have even hurt that shoulder coming down from the drop kick. But Sorrow, Phoenix, and Irons have all been eliminated and are now leaving the ringside area. Dave Brahma taking down Lucas. Lucas down. Dave Brahma. Johnny Lucas staggering around, taken down with a big arm drag. Brahma drops down with a leg drop on the arm, picks him up, figure 4 armbar, setting him up, hoisting him over with a big snap suplex, rolling over for the cover for the 2.5 count, Ed.
Dave Brahma in charge of the action, pulls Johnny Lucas to his feet. Whips him, no reversal by Lucas. Lucas with a drop kick right to the chest of Dave Brahma. Johnny Lucas dragging Dave Brahma to his feet. Tags in Johnny Gunn. Gunn and Lucas both whip Brahma into the ropes. Dave Brahma ducks under. And a big spear by Brahma for a 1 and a 2 and a 3. No! Referee gets pulled out of the way by Johnny Lucas.
I don't know if that was, I think that was only a 2. Johnny Lucas certainly tried to break it up there after it looks like he threw his partner, I should say, into that spear from Dave Brahma. There's another for his trouble, turning turning Johnny Gunn inside out for the 3. That is the 3. He had nowhere to go on that one. Johnny Gunn, the British badass, has been eliminated. He can go home to a warm beer and a rerun of EastEnders. He's out of this one.
Johnny Gunn has been eliminated.
Dave Brahma kick to the midsection of Johnny Lucas, whips him off. Lucas gets caught with a drop kick. Lucas down to the mat. Rolls through. Dave Brahma now picking Lucas up, throwing him into the corner, working him over, chop across the chest. There's the tag into Dave Ross. The lady killer comes into the match, setting him up. Double suplex, full impact.
Dave Ross putting the boots and then a big elbow drop onto the chest of Johnny Lucas. Dave Ross, one of the best up-and-coming young wrestlers in Australia today. Look at that power slam. This young man has it all. He's got the physique, he's got the amateur background, he's got the professional style down pat, and he's climbing up the ropes, Mr. J.
He's going right to the top. Look at that. Look at that. You want to talk about a man that has it all. He's got it all exactly as you said, Ed. And on top of that, picture perfect aerial skills as well. You want to talk about guys to watch as this year goes on. You need look no further than Dave Ross, the lady killer, setting him up, dropping him back, hooking the leg. 1, 2, 3. You saw him looking behind AJ Istria. Istria didn't want any part of Ross earlier. Now he comes through, sneak attack. Double footed drop kick. AJ Istria wanted no part of Dave Ross face on, but he's happy to take the advantage sneak attack wise. And look at him come through. The ultimate athlete, definitely with things going his way at the moment. Spinning through, dropping down with that almost tilt-a-whirl style leg drop, hooking the leg. 2 count only. Dave Ross says, I'm not done yet.
AJ Istria with that front face lock drags Dave Ross back into his corner. Soul tagged into the action, putting the big blows to Dave Ross. Fireman's carry position by Soul. Soul with that Pearl Bay plunge, if you will, up, and a knee strike right to that chest. Soul in for the cover. 1 and 2 count only as Dave Ross kicks out and doesn't tag, nearly tagged Dave Brahma into the action, but missed, and it looks like AJ Istria back into the action, Mr. J.
Soul is constant motion out there. He is all energy and he is like Mercury, constantly moving. Look at that kick to the side of the head. Istria rolls through, drops down, guillotine style leg drop, dropping him face first to the mat. These guys, you've got to remember, they are used to working as a team. 2 members of the Nightmare Assassin squad, and here is the big Don, Donnie St. Michael, coming into the ring. What is he hitting him with there? I'm not sure what he pulled out of the tights there, but it was not pretty, and he was just whacking it across the face of him. I don't know, I think Donnie might have seen something like that in one of his favourite films. One of those films in his collection. I don't know, Brokeback Mountain 3 perhaps. But Donnie St. Michael reenacting his favourite scene from it anyway. And look at the ankle lock submission. Dave Ross making it to the ropes. It is 2 on 3 as we currently stand. PWA Queensland, Dave Ross and Dave Brahma. On the Nightmare side, we have Donnie St. Michael, Soul, and AJ Istria. AJ Istria caught, wheelbarrow slam, taken over, full impact. You want to talk about strength. You look up the word strength in the dictionary, you're going to see a picture of Dave Ross. And let me tell you, it is a mighty attractive picture at that. Because you don't call him the lady killer for nothing. Look at him hook that arm. That is, you want to talk about a wrestling background. How about some shoot fight background as well, Ed? Listen to the fans.
Dave Ross cinching in with that cross-arm breaker, the Jujigatami, but a gouge of the eyes by Sorrow. And now Istria has the ankle lock, a standing ankle lock on Dave Ross.
Ross rolls through with it, comes back. He's got an ankle lock, a leg lock of his own. Wrenching around, he's pulled Istria back. This is Istria's own move being used against him now by Dave Ross. Soul looks like he's setting up. Donnie St. Michael got him set. There's a back heel kick from Soul, taking Dave Ross down. Oh, rolling through with it. Two. Was that a three? Was that a 2 or a 3? Hard to see from this vantage point. I think it might have only been a 2. I'm really not sure. I don't know. Dave Ross has rolled out of the way. Maybe he has been eliminated.
Dave Ross has been eliminated. We are down to Dave Brahma against AJ Istria, Soul and Donnie St. Michael.
Dave Brahma caught, picked up. Istria drops him down over the knee. Reverse atomic drop. Soul comes through with that running boot to the face, planting it. AJ Istria rolls over, hooks the leg. Like I said, the Nightmare Assassin Squad, they are used to working as a team, and they are working like a well-oiled machine out there. And if there is one thing that Donnie St. Michael is an expert in, it is well-oiled men.
The odds are really against Dave Brahma, who just gets suplexed by Soul. Soul hanging on. Oh, look at that ace crusher by Soul. Dave Brahma, I don't think you can overcome these odds, Mr. J.
Well, here comes the big dog, Donnie St. Michael, entering it, looking resplendent there in pink. He's looking a little, I don't know, there looks like there's a little something added to the package of Donnie St. Michael, if you know what I'm saying here, Ed. He's rolled through. He's hooked the leg for a 2 and a 3. Donnie St. Michael has been pinned by Dave Brahma.
Donnie St. Michael has been eliminated.
And Dave Brahma is a house on fire with drop kicks and blows raining down on the Nightmare Assassin Squad. Irish whip, boot to the midsection of Soul. Dave Brahma picking him up, rolling through with it, rolling on top, hooks the leg, 2. That would have been 3, but Istria interferes. Donnie St. Michael cannot believe that he has been eliminated, Ed. He thought this was his night. He thought this was his match. He thought it was all going to be about him. Unfortunately for him, he is out of it, but his 2 men are still out there with a 2-on-1 advantage on Dave Brahma.
Dave Brahma just cops a double knee strike right to the chest by Istria now. Soul. Look at that spear by Dave Brahma. Dave Brahma taking Soul out. He's in. He's got that crippler crossface. The crossface on AJ Istria.
And the fans are going insane. AJ Istria is tapping, and Donnie St. Michael cannot believe it. Donnie St. Michael cannot believe it. It is now down to 1-on-1 as Soul and Dave Brahma are about to go head-to-head in what started off as a 12-man, 6-on-6 elimination matchup. It has come down to 1-on-1. PWA Queensland's Dave Brahma going up against PWA Nightmare Assassin Squad, Pearl of the Orient, Sensation of the Nation, Soul. Suplex from Dave Brahma. Dave rolls through with a second one. Rolls through again, possibly setting him up for the 3rd. Picking Soul up to his feet. Setting him through, dropping him down for the 3rd suplex. After the beating he took at the hands of 2, if not 3 men. Things are going the way now of Dave Brahma.
But let's not forget Donnie St. Michael is still at ringside. He's been eliminated from this 12-man elimination tag team match, but he still is at ringside. Oh, jawbreaker by Soul. Kick right to the face by Soul. Soul in for the cover for a 1 and a 2 and a 2 count only. It's down to Soul and Dave Brahma. Soul dragging Dave Brahma to his feet, putting in the big forearm jolts right to the cheekbone. Soul lining up Dave Brahma. He races in, misses the double knee strike. misses the super kick.
Dave Brahma will spear! Goes for the cover. 1, 2, 3. Oh! 2.5 count. 2.5 count after that mammoth spear, which of course I had to announce 3 times because everyone knows unless you announce it 3 times in professional wrestling, it doesn't count. He hit him with that mammoth spear. Soul still recovering. Donnie St. Michael out at ringside. AJ Istria has returned as well. Big spear almost into a running clothesline at the end. Hooks the leg. 2, 3. Oh, there's no way. AJ Istria was out there. Dave Brahma manages to overcome the odds, manages to overcome the Nightmare Assassin squad, manages to overcome that round mound of sound, Donnie St. Michael, and take the win for PWA Queensland.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, our next contest will be a semi-final match in the Rise of the Warriors tournament.
Si te llevo pa' tu pega y para un paco pollo y te como el bollo de pan con mantequilla y nos vamos a la cuclilla donde aprendí que siempre te amiga todos los días. Esta canción va dedicada para todas esas nenas que se creen que están buenas y son bien feas, pero que se la buscan como quieran, pa' guanita la botín y pa' calar la fuera, las que te roban hoy hasta huelen pega, de las que usábamos cuando estábamos en la escuela, parecía una varilla y ahora se reposan, se arregló la gemela, ahora es que la pena, encomiéndate al cielo y prende una vela, yo sé que está buena pero eres jinetera.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, semi-final in the Rise of the Warriors tournament. Introducing first, weighing in at 89 kilograms, from Vega Alta, Puerto Rico, Mr. Yummy, Esteban Molina! His opponent weighing in at 91 kilograms, from Adelaide, he is the pride of South Australia, Damian Slater!
You want to talk about dream matches? We've got it right here again. Another international matchup. It seems like it's a night of them for Damian Slater. First off, we saw him in there against Roger Ventura. Now we're seeing him out here again against the man from Puerto Rico, Esteban Molina. Molina coming in here with incredible credentials, having fought all the way around North America, his home of Puerto Rico, all the way around Australia as well. Damian Slater, no slouch to international experience, and now they are facing off in this, the first of our semi-final matchups in the Rise of the Warriors tournament. Two incredibly skilled combatants. Look at that. You want to talk about schooling. Both of these men immediately going for super kicks at the same time. You could just about touch them soul to soul out there. That being said, though, we saw earlier Esteban Molina look to be favouring that left ankle. It'll be interesting to see if it comes into play in this matchup or whether it is nothing going to be played in it. Both men go collar and elbow tie up. Esteban comes behind and takes the advantage.
I agree with you, Mr. J. I'm positive that Esteban Molina is taking an ankle injury into this semi-final match of the Rise of the Warriors tournament 2008. Damian Slater maintaining a twisting wrist lock. Good escape, a counter by Molina into a side headlock. Gets thrown off into the ropes. Oh, look at that. Slater attempted a hip toss but got arm dragged by Molina. Molina in that wheelbarrow position into an arm drag. Look at these men go. Slater off the ropes, leapfrog by Molina. Rolling bridging pin by Slater for a 2 and a 2 count only, Mr. J.
Ducks under the clothesline, catches through, rolls around with it, pulls him down with that arm drag takedown. Both men go for the drop kick. Rolls through, back up to his feet. Esteban to his feet. Both men eye each other warily out there. Both of these men incredibly evenly matched, weight-wise, height-wise. There's only a few pounds difference, maybe only about an inch in height, if that difference between the two as well. I don't know about their experience level, but at a guess, I'd say they're pretty even there as well. Incredibly even matchups that we have been seeing here in this Rise of the Warriors tournament. My hat is indeed off to Nick XL and the matchmakers here at PWA Queensland for putting together such a mammoth, such a monster night, or 2 nights of pro wrestling action here at the Cleveland Assembly Hall.
Top wrist lock applied by Damian Slater, the pride of South Australia, but Molina bridging up. But Slater whips him into the ropes, tries a drop kick, but look at that spiderweb tactic by Esteban Molina. Molina misses the clothesline. Drop kick right to the chest by Damian Slater. Two of the very best wrestlers in all of Australia today. And you only have to look. Oh, look at that beautiful slingshot twisting body press over the top rope by Damian Slater. I was going to say proof of the pudding is the fact that these men are in the semi-final of the Rise of the Warrior tournament. Both great wrestlers. Chop to the chest by Damian Slater.
And I was about to set to channel Tony Schiavone and call that one a twisty-turny water maneuver. Head goes head first into that. That'll teach Tony Schiavone to blank me. There we go, head first into that table guardrail there, throwing him back into the ring. Following him through there, you see Molina check the ankle, go to that ankle, slow to get up to it, and look at that. You want to call it Damian Slater immediately going to work on that left ankle, and listen to the screams of pain of Esteban Molina. We said he was coming in with an injured ankle. We said that Damian Slater, he is a student of the game. He was out there watching the match on the monitors backstage. He knows every injury. He knows every freckle, every hair on the head of Esteban Molina. He knows this guy backwards, frontwards, inside and out, and he is going for that ankle. He knows there's a weakness. He is determined to take advantage of it. Molina, though, using it to his advantage there. Look at that. Look at Molina. He can barely even stand on that left foot.
Damian Slater going to work on Esteban Molina. Slater picks him up. Dumps him right in the corner of the ring. Slater climbing up to the second rope for a fall away elbow drop right to the throat. Poetry in motion is Slater as he goes for a cover hooks leg for 1 and a 2 and a 2 count only. Damian Slater definitely in control of the match of the moment, and as Mr. J pointed out, that ankle of Esteban is severely injured.
Well, Damian Slater possibly already having the match of the night thus far with Roger Ventura earlier here. Esteban Molina had a great match himself, but he's coming to this match injured. Standing enziguri from Damian Slater. Damian Slater coming at 100%. Esteban Molina coming in with that injured ankle, that injured leg. Things are, unfortunately, for Esteban easily going the way of Damian Slater. At this stage, I have to admit, I have to wonder whether Esteban will even be able to continue in this matchup. It is obvious that Damian Slater is targeting that ankle. It is obvious that Damian Slater will continue to target that ankle. Will Esteban even be able to continue and finish this match? Because certainly at the moment, it is looking 100% going the way of Damian Slater.
Damian Slater rams the head of Esteban Molina into that top turnbuckle. Puts in a big forearm jolt right to the face. And rams the head of Molina into the top turnbuckle. Molina, he's favouring that ankle. Dragon screw leg whip by Damian Slater. Slater trying to turn Esteban over. Esteban cleverly grabs that bottom rope to break the hold.
And you want to talk about guys that know the sport, that know the game, if you will. Look at Damian Slater. Damian Slater is a man who always comes out there with a game plan. Whatever game plan that Damian Slater had for Esteban, he's changed on the fly to focus on that ankle. And look at the moves that he's throwing together on it. But look at that. Grabbing the arms, rolling through, does Esteban, rolls back, drops down. Unfortunately, though, the impact has once again aggravated that ankle. But Damian Slater, like I said, he's throwing out the game plan that he had. What he instead is throwing up, we've seen an attempted Texas Cloverleaf. We've seen the Dragon Screw leg whip. We've seen numerous other moves targeting that ankle, targeting the leg of Esteban Molina. Student of the game is Damian Slater. Look at that, once again, standing enziguri. Here's Esteban looking dazed out there. Esteban tries it on his own, doesn't get a lot of height of it. Obviously, once again, due to the ankle, tries the kick there. I think he did himself more damage for that ankle. Certainly not enough force behind it to put Slater down. Slater followed up with one of his own. Both men down on the mat, feeling the effects, but obviously Damian Slater, the fresher of the two men, Ed.
Indeed he is. Damian Slater trying to regain. Both men have regained a vertical base, but Esteban still favouring that injured ankle. Both men chopping away at each other in centre ring. Big knee right to the midsection by Slater. Slater whips him into the ropes, catches him with a forearm to the throat. Big clothesline by Slater. Slater says, I'm going up. He's on the second rope now. He's up in the highlight zone of the ring for a beautiful flying crossbody. This could be it. Hooks leg, 1, 2, and Esteban kicks out of that cradle.
I really thought he had Esteban that time. Esteban having a lot of trouble kicking out, having a lot of trouble using that left leg to his advantage to get it to do just about anything out there. Things definitely going the way of Damian Slater. Just as I say that, Esteban comes up, cocks himself off with those shots there with the punches, then hits him with that poke to the eye. Esteban, though, look at him. He doesn't have a lot of strength behind him because he can't put any weight onto that leg. Going for the yummy drop. Can he hold him up there? He's looking a bit staggered. He's looking a little unsure of himself, and it's given Damian Slater the chance to reverse it, to come down, picking him up, going for that AC driver. Esteban comes through, caught, flying head scissors, no, rolls behind, hooks the leg for a 2.5 count only from the referee there. Big boot to the midsection now from Damian Slater. Damian Slater is like a shark that can smell blood. He is going to town on Esteban Molina and on that left leg.
Esteban with a reversal. Clamps on a front face lock. Spins him. He's just dropped him right on his head for a 1 and a 2 and a 2 count only. Esteban Molina pulling out all the stops, and he has to. That leg, that ankle, left ankle, is looking worse as the match goes on.
I think you were a little premature with your evaluation there. Ed, that was indeed a premature evaluation. About a 2.5 count there, though, from Molina, as Damian Slater up on all fours. Molina's up on the second rope, though. Oh, I think his ankle might have given out on him there midway through the move. Look at that. That is picture-perfect Texas cloverleaf. He has got it hooked in, and that will not be doing either leg of Molina any favours. We saw Molina get no height at all coming off that rope there. Molina obviously thought the spring in his leg was still there. Those springs were dead weight, and if they weren't before, those springs are now going to get sprung at the hands of Damian Slater, who is uncoiling those metal springs now. He is pulling them out like a ballpoint pen that you pulled apart and stretching the spring out after it. Look at Molina, though. You've got to admire the tenacity as he tries to make his way and makes his way to that rope for the break. Just to hold on that long, you have to admire Molina.
Great show of courage within the squared circle by Esteban Molina. And a look of frustration has swept over the face of Damian Slater. What does Damian Slater have to do to put away his injured opponent? Slater. Oh, whips. No, he gets reversed into the ropes. He's up, he's over. But Esteban catches him. Esteban has him in. Big boot to the midsection by Esteban. Picks him up one more time for a one-night stand, I believe.
I don't know if he got all of it. It looked like his ankle might have given out before he had the full impact to drop, but he certainly got enough of it to make an impact on Damian Slater. Now look at him hooking the legs up there, almost that sort of reverse Indian deathlock figure 4 type combination, hooking into the legs. Slater trying to make it to the ropes. He's incredibly close, right there in front of the ringside photographer, who's going to have the shots of the night with the pain etched on the face. Slater's tapping. Slater is tapping, but can you imagine the pain that Molina had to go through to even slap that maneuver on?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, your winner, who now advances to the final of Rise of the Warriors Tournament 2008, Esteban Molina! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're coming to the second semi-final of the night in the Rise of the Warriors Tournament for 2008. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, second semi-final of the night in the Rise of the Warriors tournament. The winner of this match will go into the grand final to face Esteban Molina. Introducing first, weighing in at 125 kilograms from Sydney, New South Wales, enter the machine, Blakestone! His opponent weighing in at 105 kilograms, all the way from Metropolis in the USA, Chris Hero!
Chris Hero and Blakestone. Where else in Australia could you see a match like this? But here in PWA Queensland, in the semi-final matchup in the Rise of the Warriors tournament, as the machine Blakestone goes one-on-one with Chris Hero. That is a battle of the monsters. The Blakestone was out there stomping like a caged animal. I believe at the sound of the bell, the animal has been released from the cage, and he has been released onto Chris Hero. First time, I believe, in this tournament that Chris Hero is actually going to be looking up to an opponent, the mammoth monster Blakestone, and he is out there looking like a Greek god.
Indeed, he is. Front face lock applied by Chris Hero. Chris Hero maintaining that tied front face lock, but he's just picked up. Oh, but he bulldogs that hold. He holds on. Blakestone punches to the midsection, into a twisting wrist lock, into a side headlock. Never forget that Blakestone, whilst he is probably the strongest wrestler in all of Australia today, he is one skillful competitor, Mr. J.
And Chris Hero obviously having to change his game plan. Thus far, he's faced a lot of smaller, quick-style wrestlers. He's out there now against possibly the biggest power man in Australian wrestling. Possibly also the most intimidating man in Australian wrestling. He is out there against the man monster, Blakestone. I said it last night, you could spray paint this guy green and he would be a double for the Incredible Hulk, and we don't need CGI to make him look any bigger. Take a load of the size of him. This guy is the size of a house, and he just gets bigger across the shoulders, the back and chest every time I see him. Blakestone is a monster, a massive humanity, and look at him just wrench down on that side headlock. And what I think he is doing there as well, I believe he is flexing the bicep for added pressure into the head of Chris Hero, and that is one monster bicep. That's about an extra 2 inches of pressure, if not more, from the flex capacity, even in that tighter restraint. But you can see Chris Hero trying to fight out of it, take Blakestone down to that lower point, and then work his way through.
Chris Hero counters with a side headlock of his own, putting the pressure on the side headlock that has taken Blakestone down to the canvas. I've got to say that whoever wins this semi-final in the Rise of the Warriors tournament, in my mind, becomes the favourite to win the whole bloody thing. These men are monsters. I'm not taking anything away for a moment from Mr. Yummy, Esteban Molina. Great competitor, but the man is working on one wheel. He has a severely injured ankle, and whichever man he faces, he'll be giving away height, weight, strength, the full bit. I was going to say experience. He's more experienced than Blakestone, but certainly less experienced than the world traveller, the man who has wrestled on 14 countries, Chris Hero.
And who would have thought last night, or when this tournament was first announced, that we would see this, a dream match by anybody's standards, as Chris Hero, the world traveller, comes one-on-one in the ring with the machine Blakestone. shoulder to shoulder go both men. You talk about whether either man goes in with the advantage over Molina. That's got to also depend how much punishment either man inflicts in this match. Either of these guys really able to put the hurting on any man. We saw what Mason Childs walked away with from his match with Chris Hero. We've seen the damage Blakestone has done. He's left a trail of bodies around this country. This match can go either way, and right now all I can imagine is that Molina is sitting out back hoping this match can go as long as possible, because that's going to play in his favor. Any damage is done in this match. He's out there with ice on his ankle. Listen to that chop, and another one. My ears are ringing back here, Ed. Leapfrog over the top, duck underneath, comes up, picture perfect drop kick. Blakestone up with another backhand chop across the chest of Chris Hero.
Blakestone. Oh! Series of stinging chops to the chest of Chris Hero, who has slumped in the corner of the ring due to the onslaught of the big man. Make that the huge man from Sydney, New South Wales, Blakestone, who picks up his opponent. Hero shifting his weight, blocks that suplex attempt. Blakestone again attempting a suplex. This time he's got him. He's got him. Suspended suplex!
And look at the force that he dropped him down with. Only a 2 count though. Chris Hero is a world traveller. He's certainly faced big men before. He's made a name for himself with high-flying action, but he's fought men of all shapes and sizes, of styles, of stamina, of heights, of weights, of everything else. There is not a body type or a style that Chris Hero has not faced. But look at that monster clothesline to the back of the head from Blakestone. Blakestone wants this finished quick, because the quicker he gets this match finished, the fresher he goes to face Esteban Molina. That's got to be in the back of his mind. He's certainly looking square at Chris Hero, but in the back of his mind, he's got to remember he could have another match here tonight. Chop sends him flying to the outside, head first into the table in front of our ringside fans, and that's what that extra money for the ringside seats will get you. It'll get you the action live and in living colour. 3D, Ed, 3D.
And I know for a fact that those fans have travelled from New South Wales, they've travelled from Victoria, they've travelled from South Australia, because PWAQ Queensland is the best thing going in the country today. Look at Blakestone ramming the head of Chris Hero into that hard wooden table in the front row. Fans of ringside certainly getting their money's worth as Blakestone rolls Chris Hero back under the bottom rope. But Hero, oh, a big kick. I'm going to call it a Yakuza kick. What are you calling it, Mr. J?
Legitimate businessman, legitimate businessman. We'll call that the legitimate businessman kick. Please, if there are any of our legitimate businessmen of Asian descent friends in the audience, please disregard its comments there. I don't want any trouble whatsoever from the Gold Coast Strip here tonight. Big backhand chop from Chris Hero, and a big right hand following up on that big boot that could have loosened teeth. Dropped head first in front once again of our ringside fans. That's what you get at a PWA Queensland show. Ed said it right. We've had people come over the entire country to come here. They have come over and dropped down to see such huge action. And now we have got Chris Hero rolling Blakestone back into the ring and dropping down with that big maneuver now, setting him up. Big boot to the side of the head. Drops him down. Blakestone struggling back to his feet. Huge forearm to the back of the head now. Hero with things going his way.
Chris Hero with that unique chin lock. He's now got the hands clasped there over the bridge of the nose of Blakestone. Hero spins off and a drop kick right to the head of Blakestone. Chris Hero rolls the big man over for a 1 count and a 2 count and a 2 count only. Chris Hero drags Blakestone into centre ring for a senton splash. Can he hold the big man down for a count of 3? 1, 2 count only, Mr. J.
Chris Hero, a man never with wasted motion. If he's turning his way out of a move, he's already thinking where that maneuver is going to go, and he turns it into another maneuver so he can use that force of his body against his opponent. Blakestone is hurt but struggling to his feet. Chris Hero doing everything he can to stop the big man from achieving a vertical base. He knows if he can keep the man down, that is half his battle won. He wants to keep Blakestone down on the mat, because as soon as he's back to that vertical base, Blakestone once again has that balance, has that strength, has that weight advantage on his back. He's looking a lot smaller, Ed. Still a lot bigger than many other men, but a hell of a lot smaller than what he looks on his feet.
Chris Hero putting a hard forearm smash onto the jaw. Second forearm smash. Boot to the midsection. Chop to the chest by Chris Hero. Blakestone manning up. Oh, big chop. Second chop. Blakestone, forearm jolts of his own. Whips Chris Hero, no. Gets reversed. Roaring elbow right to the jaw by Chris Hero. Hero with that senton drop. Chris Hero, senton splash. Chris Hero, a masterful wrestler. One of the greatest wrestlers that I have personally ever seen in the square. Circling for the cover, 1 and 2. Blakestone shoots up that right arm to break the count before 3.
You're noticing Blakestone, though, coming up with a lot less force than we saw earlier. Sure, he got the shoulder up. It's still way too early to count out the machine. But you'll notice that was just a raise of the right shoulder. It wasn't a monumental, powerful kick out. He just raised that shoulder. He certainly raised it with time to spare, but he wasn't expounding a great deal of strength. And look at Chris Hero there, trying to drive some of that strength, trying to drive that air, and at the same time wrench down and wrench those forearms across the face and across the neck of Blakestone, taking him down and trying to keep him down. Blakestone back up to his feet, though. The big man drops down with a jawbreaker. Chris Hero felt that, and Blakestone felt that too. Double chop, and there's the triple for the hat trick. Chris Hero pulls Blakestone right to the center. Forearm jolt, flipper forearm. I think there was about 5 or 6 of them. Bounces off the rope, comes through, caught by Blakestone. There's the power, spinning him round, dropping him down with that spinning sidewalk slam, dropping him straight down to the mat. And look at Chris Hero feeling that one for sure.
Modified version of the Uranage driver by Blakestone. Blakestone to his feet. Chris Hero to his feet. Oh, Hero, both men exchanging those big punches, blows, elbows. Whip into the ropes. Clothesline, killer clothesline. Another clothesline by Blakestone. Hero gets caught by Blakestone. He's whipped into the ropes. Blakestone with that high elevated inverted atomic drop and a forearm jolt to the chest for a 1 count and a 2 count. Hooks the leg. Oh no, didn't get the 3.
I really thought Blakestone might have had it on that one, but it was only a 2 count. Blakestone, Hero's up. Hero's up. Blakestone's grabbing him by the head, setting him up, picking him up for something, possibly a big full body slam. Oh, he's setting him up. This doesn't look good for Hero. He said, this one's for you, Hero. And there was that 4th big chop. He was taking him apart. And look at Blakestone out there. He is stomping, waiting for Hero back to his feet. Blakestone has him up on the shoulders. Hero comes through with that elbow. Rolls through, takes him over. Blakestone's down. I thought Hero might have gone for a cover, but he isn't finished with him yet.
That twisting Kavrat driver for 1 and a 2. Oh, 2 count only. The Heroes welcome, put Blakestone down for a count of 2, but 2 only. The big man fighting back with all the strength he has in that massive frame. Both men struggling to their feet. Big elbow smashes. Exchange of elbows in centre ring. Chopped by Blakestone. Chopped by Hero. Both men fighting it out for the right to challenge for the Rise of the Warriors tournament final tonight. Blakestone blocks. He goes into what could be a slam of silence. Picks him up. Slam of silence. This is it. Blakestone's going to the final. 1, 2. What?
What the hell? Mark Williamson has come out. Mark Williamson has come out and shouted for the bell. Blakestone had Chris Hero covered. Mark Williamson has come out here, called for the bell. I'm not sure exactly what was going on here. Blakestone had Chris Hero pinned. Mark Williamson out here with a security. I believe the referee just has restarted. Well, I don't believe the match ever stopped. I believe Williamson called for the bell to distract Blakestone, and he certainly did that. I believe Blakestone had Hero covered for the win, but Hero now takes the advantage thanks to the distraction from that pipsqueak, that lying, cheating pipsqueak, and that is the 3, and that is without doubt thanks to the interference of that piece of shit, Mark Williamson.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the winner of this match, who will now advance to the grand final of the PWAQ Queensland Rise of the Warriors tournament, to face Esteban, Molina, your winner, Chris Hero! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, our next match is a grudge match stemming from the events that occurred here last night in Cleveland Assembly Hall. Introducing first, weighing in at 137 kilograms from Obie, Queensland, the resident giant of Queensland Wrestling, Kyote! And introducing Kyote's opponent, weighing in at 125 kilograms. He is the public enemy from the streets of Sydney, New South Wales, Rancid!
These two monsters already going at it. Kyote runs straight runs straight up at Rancid. Rancid connects with a big boot. He is working over the big man, working him back towards the ring. This all stems, both men interfering in each other's matches in night one. Rancid, in fact, even ran in the intermission and attacked Kyote and had to separate him. Kyote now grabbing Rancid. I don't know if this match has even started yet. Rancid goes body first into that ringside table, just about destroying it in the process. Rancid now up there, huge chop from Kyote. The referee is going to have to get these men into the ring to get this match underway. Rancid with a big backhand chop and a big clubbing forearm blow to the back of the head of Kyote. Huge uppercut there from Rancid as well. He's got the big man by the hair, sending him around the ring. I don't even know if this one has even started yet. I haven't heard a ring bell. They certainly haven't even got into the ring yet. Rancid has Kyote heading him head first into the table. Kyote blocking it. Rancid trying it again. Kyote comes through with that extra strength, throwing Rancid back. He is Rancid again. Big back elbow, couple of them from the big man, the BFG. And I'll tell you right now, the F does not stand for friendly. Rancid going head first into the table, and he is on rubber leg street right now, Ed.
He's a street fighter. He will fight back with every last ounce of strength he has. I don't particularly like the guy, but I do have to respect him. He is a fighter from the streets of Sydney. That is not hype. You look at the guy's face, he has hardly a tooth left in his head. He is a fighter, and this is indeed a grudge match. It's a battle of the behemoths. We have Big Kyote, 137 kilo. Rancid, not much smaller, at 125 kilos. Rancid picking up that table, wooden table, smashes it into the face of Kyote. Again, down goes Kyote. Rancid. He is a wild man. I know Kyote is a big brute, but I've got to say that this type of match, a grudge match, anything goes. No contest, says the referee.
I believe the referee has thrown this out. He's declared it a no contest after those table shots, which were about as loud as I've ever heard from Rancid onto the head there of Kyote.
The referee has declared this bout a no contest.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next match is a 4-man elimination match for the PWA International title. Bring out the opponents.
as one of the first round losers not affiliated with Nightmare last night, Mason Childs qualified for this 4-way title match. But I was talking to Mason Childs today. I spoke to him in the hospital bed, and his dying wish was one that he wanted his best friend, his life companion, to take his spot. So ladies and gentlemen, hit the music.
As I sat next to Mason's hospital bed, his deathbed, holding his hand in his final hours of life, he begged me, please, Pyro, please take my spot in the match. Please help Obie win. He's such a good champion, a lot better than me. And what kind of man would I be if I didn't oblige?
Ladies and gentlemen, just because I like the sound of my own voice, only in Australia, folks, will you see a chance where two competitors, a dirty septic tank and a kitty fiddler from Adelaide, have a chance at, of course, a great upstanding pillar of the community, the butter of society, have a chance against the international champ. Only in Australia, folks. Up your knees and cheer your international champion!
Ladies and gentlemen, I'll speed things up here. Introducing first, standing 5'10", weighing 185 pounds, hailing from the hills of Woodside, South Australia. This is Robby Standing 6'1", weighing 168 pounds, hailing from the Nightmare War Factory. This is Champagne Pyro! Standing 5'9", weighing in at 178 pounds, hailing from Chicago, USA. This is Trik weighing 190 pounds, hailing from the GC. He is the PWA International Champion. This is Obie Cartel!
And I've said it before, Obie Cartel, you might not like the attitude, you certainly won't like the company he keeps, but you've got to admire the man in the ring. He is a consummate professional. He might very well have won that title under dubious circumstances, but he is an incredible competitor out there in the ring, Ed, and he is putting that belt on the line again tonight with three of the guys who failed to advance in their first round tournaments. Robby Hart from South Australia, Champagne Pyro, and of course, all the way from Chicago, Illinois, Trik Davis.
Trik Davis facing off against Champagne Pyro. Quick takedown. And he's riding his opponent. Quick escape into a front face lock by Champagne Pyro. Champagne Pyro all the way from Victoria, where he is a Muay Thai champion. But look at Robby Hart. He's got that hammerlock secured. He's drifted over into a front face lock. And Pyro cleverly puts the feet on the bottom rope to enforce the break.
And the break has been made. I was talking to Trik Davis backstage earlier. I asked him whether the name Trik Davis was because Trik, like he's a magic in the ring. And he told me what he said was, tricks are what whores do. And what he said to me, I said, really? You are Trik? And he nodded and smiled. So I guess that says something about the sort of man Trik Davis is, and possibly about what we can expect and what they can expect on the Gold Coast tonight. Trik Davis has guaranteed victory in this match, and he has said that he will walk away with the international title and make the PWA title truly international by taking it back to America with him. It will be interesting to see what we see here in the match, as right now Champagne Pyro and Robby Hart are trading that arm breaker and the wrist lock maneuver there into the side headlock now from Champagne Pyro.
Champagne Pyro maintaining that tight side headlock. Robby Hart fires him off into the ropes. Big shoulder block by the Victorian. Champagne Pyro off the ropes. Leapfrog by Robby Hart. Robby Hart tried another leapfrog. Just got dumped fireman carry slam onto the canvas. 1 and 2. 2 count only by Champagne Pyro. Pyro forearm jolt. Winds him up. Puts him into the ropes. Misses the big blow. Robby Hart with a forearm jolt. Springboard kick right to the face by Robby Hart. In for the cover. Hooks a leg. 1, 2. 2 count only, Mr. J.
And he might as well have had laser sighting on that one. You could have almost seen the red dot on Champagne Pyro because he targeted him and he hit him straight ahead like a bullet. Look at that shot into the corner. Robby Hart runs through. Huge flying forearm into the corner. Whip off. Pyro goes in. Kick to the midsection. Double arm underhook suplex. Takes him over with it. Picture perfect from Robby. Going up now onto the ropes. Second rope springboard moonsault. Connected only with ring. Champagne Pyro manages to roll out of the way. Now to a corner for a breather. This match almost turning into a tag team match out there as we're seeing Champagne Pyro representing the Nightmare Assassin squad. Obie Cartel representing the Nightmare group. And what's more, we've got Trik Davis, Robby Hart on the other side. I guess by default representing PWA Queensland, a man from South Australia and a man from the US of A. But right now Champagne Pyro taking the advantage with those knife edge chops in the corner into the chest of Robby Hart, who's whipped in. Look at the speed of Pyro. Runs through with that rolling back heel kick as Hart just collapses into the middle of the ring for a 1 and a 2 count only.
Champagne Pyro stamping his authority on this match. Drags Robby Hart up. Rams him spine first into the turnbuckles. Takes both legs. Releases them only to chop the chest of Robby Hart. Again, wicked chops to the chest. Forearm jolt. And another chop and another forearm by Champagne Pyro. Robby Hart is slumped down into the corner. Pyro with a running knee strike right to the head. That could be curtains for young Robby Hart from South Australia. Pyro in for the cover. 1, 2. 2 count only. Game kick out by Robby Hart.
And you want to talk about the chops of Blakestone. I'll tell you right now, if you're buying those chops by the pound, the chops of Champagne Pyro measure up. But just as I'm saying that, sunset flip there from Robby Hart. Champagne Pyro with a bit of a tornado clothesline there, coming through and taking him down. Once again, chops from Pyro. Like I said, you buy those chops by the pound. I think they're worth every cent of the chops of Blakestone. Caught coming in with a boot. Tornado DDT. Flips him over. Pyro flips all the way to the outside. Onto the feet and keeps going over the second rope to the floor. Williamson is concerned, and I would be too.
Robby Hart, the young man from Woodside, the hills of Woodside, South Australia, back into this match in a big way. Tags in Trik Davis, the young man from Chicago, Illinois, in the USA. Trik Davis. And who is tagged into the action? None other than the PWA International Heavyweight Champion, Obie Cartel. Cartel facing off against the young American Trik Davis.
Trik Davis and Cartel both getting the tag to make their first appearance in this match. They go collar and elbow tie up. Trik Davis there, you can see him bring him down, sneak underneath, come back with that wrist lock. Obie Cartel though returns the favour, brings it up on his own. Trik Davis puts himself into the hammerlock position to come through and put Obie Cartel into a side headlock. Picture perfect wrestling we are seeing here from both young Trik Davis and Obie Cartel, the PWA International Champion, who right now is down on the mat in a figure four armbar. Grabbed that shoulder with the leg, setting him up. Not sure exactly what Trik Davis is going for here. Drops down on it, working that arm and shoulder of Obie Cartel.
That knee drop arm breaker. Now it's a bridging knee drop arm breaker by Trik Davis. Very clever wrestler. Holds the champion down for a count of two. Trik in control here at the moment. Short arm bar applied by Trik Davis from Chicago, Illinois. The PWA International Champion, Obie Cartel, retains. No, he's back to a vertical base. Knee right to the midsection, tight side headlock, into a hammerlock, into another side headlock by Obie Cartel.
Obie Cartel has taken the advantage on Trik Davis, but Trik Davis manages to come out there. Look at that, steps on the back of the leg, brings him down, floats over the top into a side headlock, and you can tell just from the mannerisms and the stance that Obie Cartel is not happy. Donnie St. Michael's running around ringside trying to stop everybody from slapping the tables. Now he's got the hammerlock behind, does Trik Davis, turning Obie around, wrenching down on the wrist lock again, wrenching back with it in that arm breaker type maneuver, hanging onto the wrist, double knuckle lock, picks him up, kicks him back, bounces up, rolls through, arm drag, takedown. Obie Cartel almost to the outside, twisting arm breaker from Trik Davis, double arm, takes him down, picks him up by the hands, goes behind, hooks both the arms behind his legs, and look at him just posing and mocking the forces of PWA Nightmare on the outside.
Trik Davis with that unique form of surfboard. Spins the champ over, reverse double leg Nelson, but a kick out by Obie Cartel. Cartel up and over onto the apron of the ring. Trik Davis just kicked the leg straight out from under Obie Cartel. Davis, I thought he was going to fly. He's put on the brakes. Oh, but a double axe handle off the apron by Robby Hart. Mark Williamson sticking his nose into the business of Robby Hart. Hart throws Cartel back to the waiting arms of Trik Davis.
And look at Williamson picking a fight, then running out of the way while the big man Croft steps up. Double whip, kick to the midsection of Obie Cartel, kick to the side of the head by Trik Davis, and a super leg drop off the top. drops it down. Big leg drop, not enough to get it done though, as Champagne Pyro comes in with a kick to the back of the head to break the pinfall attempt. International title on the line. Don't forget, Obie Cartel with everything to lose in this match. All three other men with everything to gain. It is definitely the weight of the world on the shoulders right now of Obie Cartel.
But remember, this is a four-man elimination match. So for Cartel to retain his title, he has to outlast his three opponents. He has to go 3 falls. I'm not saying he can't do it. He's a fighting champion. But the odds must be against Obie Cartel in this match. Cartel and Robby Hart squaring off here in the PWA Queensland ring. Cartel gouge of the eyes, tags in Champagne Pyro. Pyro with that stomp. Another stomp right to the back of the neck of Robby Hart. Champagne Pyro, snapmare's heart right to the canvas. Oh, wicked kick to the spine, Jay.
Sure was, and look at him follow through with that monster kick to the front as well. Goes for the covers, 2 count only. Robby Hart manages to get that shoulder up. It's so loud in here at the moment, Ed. When the fans get behind it, I can barely hear you speak. I can barely hear myself speak. My voice is already dying from a night of hot action, following on from another night. Pyro up and over to the outside. Obie Cartel looking at him. Obie Cartel tumbles to the outside as well. Both men down, and listen to this noise. Not that I'm sure you can hear much else. Trik Davis setting up for something. Goes through the ropes. Ducks under. Obie Cartel hits Pyro. Shot from Trik Davis. Trik Davis working it hard up top. Look at the height from the top. He must have been about 15 feet in the air on that huge body splash.
And the consecrated crap chant erupted here at Cleveland Assembly Hall tonight. The high-flying ability of Robby Hart, but he just cops a wicked low blow from Champagne Pyro. Pyro picks him up. Oh, double arm driver for a 1 and a 2 and a 3.
That is the 3. That is the 3 indeed. Robby Hart has been eliminated by Champagne Pyro. Only 3 men remain. Mark Davis hanging on to the... Mark Williamson, I should say, hanging on to the leg of Trik Davis. Pulled in now. Champagne Pyro has him. Snaps him over. Snap suplex. Pyro goes for the cover. Referee slides in for a 1 count only. Obie Cartel back on the ring apron. Champagne Pyro with the advantage right now on Trik Davis. Drops down with the knee. Looks like it was straight to the jaw. Trik Davis is holding it. Listen to the fans getting behind Trik Davis.
Trik Davis is really down to a handicap match facing both Obie Cartel and Champagne Pyro. Trik facing both Nightmare Men. Obie Cartel drives the knee deep into the midsection of Trik Davis. Obie Cartel taking a handful of hair, drags Trik, but Trik punching away at the midsection only to be belted squarely in the jaw by Obie Cartel. Obie Cartel, dropping down with a blow right to the midsection. Again, dragging Trik. No, he's choking Trik Davis.
Obie Cartel, he will do anything to hold on to that title. That title means more to him than anything. He will resort to anything within his arsenal, anything he can grab, anything he can think of to do. Obie Cartel will do it to remain that PWA International title. Hold that PWA International title. He is the champ. He has taken a long time to get there. He doesn't want to lose it now. He expects to have a long reign and the way things are going, it is certainly looking bright for Obie Cartel at the moment with the help from his friend Champagne Pyro.
Champagne Pyro perched up on the very top ropes. Moonsault. He just moonsaulted Obie Cartel. Trik Davis moved out of the way. Both members of Nightmare down on the hard wooden floor of the Cleveland Assembly Hall. Trik Davis has all these great fans squarely behind him. He rolls Champagne Pyro back underneath the bottom rope. Trik Davis of Chicago, Illinois, USA, with a double lung blower on Champagne Pyro.
Pyro bounced backwards there. Trik Davis grabs him by the leg, pulls him back, sets him up. I don't even know what he's going for here. He's hooked the legs. He's rolling through with it. Look at that maneuver. It's sort of a form of the Texas cloverleaf. I don't know what you'd call it, but it is hooked in. Champagne Pyro, look at them trying to push the ropes over to him. Obie Cartel is trying to get into the ring. Did Champagne Pyro tap? I'm not sure if he tapped or not. He was certainly very much on the edge of it if he didn't. It looked like he was incredibly close to it. The referee is not calling it, so I can only believe that Champagne Pyro's still in the match. Obie Cartel managing to roll through and make the save in time. Trik Davis not able to put away Champagne Pyro. Double whip. There's a boot. Trik Davis back through. Catches the arm. Throws it into... Did you see that? He threw the arm. He managed to get that almost stone cold stunner on Obie from his own friend. Was that 3? No, 2 count only. Still not enough to put away Pyro. Setting him up again, picking him up, dropping him down, hooking it. He's hooked the leg. 1, 2. Got the 3 that time. Trik Davis has eliminated Pyro. Champagne Pyro out of the match as a result of Trik Davis. Obie Cartel, look at that though, just ducks down, grabs the leg, rolls Trik Davis throat first into that second rope. Obie Cartel definitely has the things already going his way, and there's that big spine buster. That has been the prequel to a win many times from Obie Cartel. Not enough to put away Trik Davis here tonight, but certainly the damage is already done, and Trik Davis is obviously hurting.
Obie Cartel with that big suspended suplex. Oh, into a jackhammer. He's got him 1 and 2. Oh, the shoulder of Trik Davis rose off the canvas before the fatal 3.
Obie Cartel can't believe it. He screamed out after not getting the pin on that one. Look at Obie Cartel. This is a man who a lot of the time shows just about no emotion in the ring. And look at him out there, angry at himself, angry at Trik Davis. And I'll tell you right now, incredibly angry at that boot to the face. Trik Davis rolls behind, takes him down, kick to the side of the head of Obie Cartel for about a 2 count there. Referee slow to get out of the way. Caught Trik Davis with a double-footed stomp there. Shot to the jaw of Obie Cartel. Obie still manages to hit that shoulder up at a 2 count. Referee in the way of Trik Davis may have thrown him off there.
Trik Davis making his Australian debut over this weekend. The Rise of the Warriors 2008 weekend. He's made a sterling debut. Obie in with that forearm jolt. Trik blocks it, puts a big punch in. Looks like he might be going for I thought he was going to go for an iconoclasm. He's just planted the champion in center ring face first. A gourd buster driver, if you will. Picks up the champ, dumps him with a power slam. 1 and 2. 2 count only, Mr. J.
This match would be a main event anyway. This match is tremendous. But you know what, Ed? We've still got Chris Hero and Esteban Molina in the finals to come. this match for the PWA International title, and it's almost playing second fiddle tonight. We've got two main events, this one and then the final of the tournament. But look at this, Trik Davis and Obie Cartel. You can't tell either man that this isn't a main event match. Both men going all out. Look at that spine buster. Hooks the legs, no, throws them back. Comes through, hooks the arm, double arm underhook, triangle arm underhook, driver, drops him down, goes for the cover, 2 and a 3. Was that a 3? That was a 3 indeed. He had nowhere to go from that one. Obie Cartel retaining the PWA International title.
Your winner and still PWA International Champion, Obie Cartel!
What the hell is going on here? Croft has fallen down. Williamson. Blakestone! It's Blakestone! Blakestone is out here again. Going after Mark Williamson. The bodyguard is down. The big man is down. Blakestone is looking to get his revenge here tonight on Mark Williamson. Williamson is running like a scared child, like a scared little girl, if you will. Mark Williamson's testicles firmly in Donnie St. Michael's handbag. Yeah, oh yeah, this is what we paid our money to see, Blakestone. Sack whack of doom. The sack whack heard around the world, and I think we're about to hear the chops heard around the world. The fans are calling for one more time, but Williamson is doing his best to get the hell out of Dodge Head, and I don't blame him for a second. Look at the smile on the face of Blakestone. He might have been cost the shot in the tournament, but Blakestone is looking happy at getting those chops on Williamson, and look at the welts on his back. I believe he is bleeding from the back already. Mark Williamson does not look as cocky now. And look, here come his boys. Oh, look at them. He's saying, where were they? He's slapping all of them. Williamson is not a happy man. And anyone that has seen Williamson without his shirt on, they can't be happy either. He is throwing a hissy fit of mammoth proportions. Mark Williamson is going absolutely mentally challenged out there right now. And a boot for his security as well. Mark Williamson not happy, but listen to how appreciative the fans are of the actions of Blakestone.
Start making some noise for your main event! The team, the Rise of the Warriors 2,
donde aprendí que se te palanquea todos los días. Esta canción va dedicada para todas esas niñas que se creen que están buenas y son bien feas, pero que se las buscan como quieran. Aguantar la cocina y pagarla a la fuera, las que te roban hoy hasta huelen pega, de las que saben
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing first, standing 5'11", weighing in tonight at 187 pounds, all the way from Puerto Rico, this is Esteban Molina! Standing 6'5", weighing in at 105 kilos, hailing from Metropolis, this is Chris Hero!
And here we are. It has all come down to this, our main event of the evening, the final of the Rise of the Warriors tournament, as Esteban Molina goes one-on-one with Chris Hero. This match, a 60-minute time limit to a winner, one fall or submission. The trophy is on the line, as will be the bragging rights. Chris Hero went all the way to the finals last year, but couldn't get it done, losing the final match to Mason Childs. Chris Hero coming into this one fresh. Esteban Molina got a bit of a squeaky wheel. That left foot, that left ankle, definitely he's been favoring it in previous matches. Will be interesting to see how it comes into play in this matchup. But we are about to get underway with what could be the biggest main event in PWA Queensland history, as Esteban Molina has made it all the way to the finals, facing the man from Metropolis, Chris Hero, who has done 3 costume changes here tonight. It's like watching a Janet Jackson video without the backstage footage. I don't think we're going to be inserting that into the DVD of Chris Hero changing his outfits. I certainly hope not. Donnie St. Michael, though, I'll bet has it on his camera phone. Either way, this match about to be getting underway. Both men tentative. Ed, could it be any more exciting here at Cleveland?
Could not be any more exciting, Mr. J. Chris Hero with that suspended waist lock takes Esteban to the canvas, where he applies a wrist lock and arm bar. Chris Hero, for the second consecutive year, has reached the final of the Rise of the Warriors tournament. Hero with that hammerlock applied. Esteban rolls through into a twisting wrist lock. Twisting wrist lock by Esteban Molina, putting the pressure on. Hero rolls through, tries to roll through, but Esteban maintains the pressure on that wrist lock, Mr. J.
Esteban definitely starting things out rather tentatively, as is Chris Hero. We've seen Chris Hero start most of his matches this way the entire tournament, starting out with the wrist lock, starting out with the arm bar, starting out with maneuvers like that to work the arm, work the wrist, take his opponent down the mat, while Chris Hero gets a feel for his opponent, gets a feel for the ring, gets a feel for the crowd before he can go on and try and take charge in the match. And look at him spread the fingers there and try and break those fingers, or certainly at least torque them and do some damage to him. You can hear Esteban Molina scream out in pain. You've got to figure at the moment the last thing he needs is another body part he has to look after.
Hero maintaining the pressure on that wrist lock, twists around into a top wrist lock, down to the canvas goes Esteban Molina. Chris Hero applying the pressure on that wrist lock, and that knee drop, wrist lock drop has put a lot of hurt onto the arm and the wrist in particular of Esteban Molina. Hero in control at the moment, twisting wrist lock, could see an arm breaker coming up perhaps. Look, he's twisting that wrist into positions it should never be in, Mr. J.
And look at him just wrenching down. Look at that. Look at that one. We're saying he's wrenching down on it, pulls straight down, full force over the shoulder. Now he's standing on him. Look at him bending that shoulder back, and what certainly rolls through with that full body weight, talking on the arm, perhaps trying to dislocate the shoulder, trying to pop the arm from his socket. Look at him there, torque it around his own arm, wrench it back, sort of almost chicken wing like, with full body weight, grabbing the other arm as well, full finger lock on that, pulling that back as well, working the shoulders. He's almost got a surfboard and a chicken wing at the same time, all the while rolling the shoulders down for a pinfall attempt. Talk about ring technician. Chris Hero is definitely that.
He is a master technician. Chris Hero, one of the greatest wrestlers ever to set foot in Australia. Esteban has reversed the situation though, has an arm bar of his own, but Hero tosses him and applies a leg drop. He has that arm grapevine. The grapevine on the arm, putting the pressure back on the wrist of Esteban Molina. And as Mr. J said, Esteban came into the match with an injured ankle, and now looks like he has an injured wrist.
You make a good point there, Ed, and something I've just noticed, he's actually working on the left arm, the left shoulder of Esteban Molina. What he is trying to do, I believe, is take out the whole left side of him, make him lopsided, make him favouring an entire side. Look at that though, Esteban Molina managing to roll back and get that pinfall attempt. I think what he is trying to do is, if he can take out that whole left side without fail, Esteban Molina has got to favour it, and that is just going to leave him open for attack. If you've got a bird with one wing, all it is going to do is go in circles, and if you're going to go in circles in a wrestling ring, then Chris Hero will run circles around you, and that is exactly what I believe he is trying to do to Esteban Molina. We know the ankle is already injured. Look at what he's doing to the arm and the wrist. You don't need to be a doctor to know that arms and wrists are not supposed to bend in angles like that, Ed. He's going to be needing a chiropractor as soon as he gets out of that ring. Without a shadow of a doubt, he's going to need bones cracked back into places. He could be sharing the hotel bed next to the hospital bed next to Mason Childs after this one. Look at that though. Even after all of that, that's got to have done damage to the arm to just take Hero over with that. Look at the strength, the stamina of Molina. Earlier we saw him come through the pain using of his foot in an actual submission maneuver, that injured foot, to get the win. Now we're seeing him using an injured arm to throw Chris Hero. You cannot doubt the guts, the intestinal fortitude of Esteban Molina. That has been on display since Mr. Yummy stepped out here tonight.
Esteban Molina facing off against Chris Hero. Test of strength coming up, but Hero straight into that top wrist lock. Takes Molina down to the canvas. Molina bridging to try and obviate the pain of the top wrist lock. Look at that grip. Hero, a master of the squared circle. Now he's barring the arm with his own leg. He's got a chin lock in place. Chris Hero, what a masterful mat man.
I think he is trying to turn Esteban Molina into a dollar sign. I do believe that was what he was trying to do with his body. I believe what that was Chris Hero saying, showing that the US dollar is still stronger than the Australian dollar or even the Puerto Rican dollar, and showing that was the might of it by trying to turn him. Look at that boot to the head and a nip up from Chris Hero. very much at the moment. Esteban is on the defense, Chris Hero on the offense. Chris Hero, they're now talking his own foot, perhaps doing some damage there, I don't know. Chris Hero, though, looking steady on his feet. Esteban Molina favouring so many parts of his body at the moment. You don't need a diagram to show it. You can see it just from how he's walking and how he's moving, that he's definitely got parts to favour. And I think Molina is using the right game plan here in trying to do the same to Hero and take out a body part of his and try and even the score up. Unfortunately for him, though, left him right open there, and I believe Hero is trying to grab that left arm once again. He's got it torqued in there, I believe. I think he's got his own arm through it, wrenching down on it.
Short arm scissors applied by Chris Hero. It's a hold you don't see too often, a very intricate manoeuvre, but Chris Hero has mastered it, and we might even see... No, I thought we were going to see a rolling short arm scissors, but instead Hero has repositioned his body weight. He's still got that arm torqued. Now he's wrapping it around his own leg. The wrist again of Esteban Molina is in big trouble. Body drop. And again, that chicken wing applied by Chris Hero. Esteban to his feet, but still in a world of hurt, Mr. J.
Well, we've said it a million times. Chris Hero schooled internationally. He's wrestled everywhere. What I think we're seeing now is a lot of his European schooling. We know he's wrestled for catch wrestling. He's wrestled in Germany. He's wrestled in the UK as well. I think he could be perhaps channeling the days of the old World of Sport days. We're seeing a lot of background here. We're seeing a lot of arm bars. We're seeing a lot of no wasted motion, just turning around into the arm bars. Johnny Saint-like almost out there, working around with it. We're seeing a lot of wrestlers over these last couple of nights mirroring their heroes, mirroring the guys of old. We saw a sleeper almost like my close personal friend Steve Rickards from Roger Ventura. Now what we're seeing is the European stylings of Chris Hero, and unfortunately, look at that, pulling back on that arm of Esteban Molina. Chris Hero, you can say, I was saying he was showing the stamina, the stylings of European. That was all American out there. Catches, catch can. That was, I'm showing you, I'm in control, and this is exactly how I'm going to do it.
You must remember too that Chris Hero has received tuition early in his career by Fit Finley, by Dave Taylor and by William Regal. It's coming to the fore at the moment. Look at this, he has a wrist lock, headlock combination. The man never ceases to amaze me. I love pure wrestling, and Chris Hero is one of the greatest pure wrestlers on the face of this earth, Mr. J.
Well, certainly a veteran of the Ring of Honor style wrestling, and you don't see a lot of shirkers, shall we say, in their rings. Look at that, struggling him over. Esteban Molina, though, quick to his feet, jumps back like a cat into that side headlock maneuver on Chris Hero. Chris Hero, I don't think knows what to make of Molina. Just when he thinks he has him set, just when he thinks he has him worked out, Molina pulls something new out of the bag. Look at him, tried to grab him, catch him through, manages to come through with that Mexican-style arm drag, comes through, figure four arm bar now on Chris Hero. Picture perfect, locked in perfectly, both arms set, arm right at the elbow block there of Chris Hero, putting down on the pressure, putting down the pressure on the body. Hero's trying to roll backwards out of it, trying to get to a vantage point, get some pressure, maybe get out of it, perhaps reverse it on Molina. Either way, Molina definitely is taking the advantage here now. Hero, though, back to his feet. Definitely the stamina and the strength has got to be on the side of Chris Hero after the beating that Molina has taken. Molina dumped over the top rope. Hero sees him, comes through, dives over, manages to land on his feet. Molina now in the ring, dives through, hangs on as well. Chris Hero saw him coming, comes through. Molina over the top, slingshot, caught by Chris Hero, taken over with, I believe, an arm drag. Was hard to see from this vantage point after both men tried and faked each other out on about 2 or 3 plancha type dives through and or over the ropes. What an impressive matchup we are seeing. Both of these men going all out in the final of the Rise of the Warriors tournament.
Esteban Molina putting a big blow to the back of Chris Hero, in with that forearm jolt. Another forearm jolt right to the jaw by Esteban Molina. Series Molina just pounding away on Chris Hero. Hero back to his feet. Chop by Mr. Yummy, Esteban Molina. Big forearm jolt, but Hero disdainfully just swatting away at the face of Esteban Molina.
I think Chris Hero is saying, is that all you got? Chris Hero definitely thinks he has things going his way at the moment, and he may very well be completely right. Look at him. He thinks he's got it. He thinks he can be cocky about it. He thinks he can stand there and just do those open-handed slaps of the face, that show of disrespect. But look at Molina fire back, and look at Hero now fire back. Picking him up again, hooks the arm around the head, drops down. That's right on that ankle, Ed. That's right on it. Look at him turn him over with it. Oh my God, the referee had better check. I'm not sure Molina will be able to continue after that one. Molina came down hard. First he did that almost ankle breaker type maneuver, then wrenched it right down. I think that we might see a winner in this match by a decision, because I really don't know if Molina can continue.
As we know, Chris Hero has been centering his attack on the left wrist of Esteban Molina. I wondered when he would drop down and concentrate on that injured left ankle of Molina, and he's got it now. He's standing up. Indian Deathlock. Another maneuver you don't see too often. A full Indian Deathlock with slaps to the face, slaps to the chest. Indian Deathlock applied by Chris Hero.
Look at Chris Hero, what he does. You notice the way that he's got it placed. He steps in, slaps to the face, steps back, adds to the pressure of the maneuver, steps forward for the slap. That is constantly putting extra pressure on that ankle. And now look at him sitting down with it, bridging himself up, pushing back on it. Once again, you want to talk about Fit Finley. You want to talk about the European stylings. Look at that maneuver. Molina doing everything he possibly can to get out of it, and he isn't smart to do it. He doesn't want to give up now, but I'll tell you right now, I don't think there's a person in this audience that wouldn't imagine why Molina would give up after the punishment that he has taken. There is not a person that would hold it against him if he were to quit after the punishment that ankle is taking. This man has a career in the ring. He has people that he needs to support. He has himself that he needs to support. If he cannot wrestle, he cannot make any money. So if he were to quit this match, that might be a good thing for the long-term career of Esteban Molina, because right now what we are seeing Chris Hero do is shorten the career of Esteban Molina.
Chris Hero dragging the legs of Molina. He's wrapped that injured ankle around the steel ring post. We've said it before, it's become a cliche, but body part against steel, steel always wins. Chris Hero methodically taking apart Esteban Molina. He's wrapped those legs, it's hard to see from our vantage point, but he's wrapped those legs around the post and stomps away on the injured leg of Esteban Molina.
I'd be very surprised at this point if Esteban has any feeling left in that left leg. If he is lucky, he has no feeling, because if he has any feeling left, it is all going to be pain. It is all going to be bad. Chris Hero took his time to get to it, but by God has he got to it now. Esteban struggling to even stand on that leg now. Chris Hero just shrugs him down to the mat. Esteban Molina, look at him struggling to even come up to one knee, Ed. Struggling with those shots to the breadbasket. Another kick to the leg by Chris Hero. Chris Hero thinks he has things going his way. I think he does as well. At this stage, I would say the tournament belongs to Chris Hero.
Standing power lock applied and a drop down on the ankles. Hero in for the cover, 1 and 2. 2 count only. Chris Hero well in control. Picks up Molina and turns him over for a single leg Boston Crab. Esteban Molina has the injured ankle. He has an injured wrist. As you said earlier, nobody is going to think any less of the man if he submits. Mr. Yummy is in deep, deep trouble here at Cleveland Assembly Hall tonight.
And look at Chris Hero grabbing those legs once again. He had him set up in a single crab, rolls through with the full body weight pressure on it, talking at that ankle, talking at that knee, and just pulling it down. You could call him Torquemada if you wanted a pun out there, because he is certainly administering the punishment to Esteban. Huge chop in the corner, and I think that one is just an exclamation mark. That is Chris Hero just saying, I have things going my way 100% of the way. He doesn't need sat-nav. He doesn't need a UBD. He doesn't need anything out there. He knows where he's going. But Esteban Molina firing back with those chops across the chest. Irish whip reversal. Esteban Molina couldn't even take the Irish whip and make his way across the ring. I seriously think it may be time for the referee to call this match. Maybe time for somebody to throw in the towel for Esteban Molina. I certainly don't think he can continue.
Look at this, another form of the standing power lock applied by Hero, and Hero just turning over Molina. Sure submission maneuver. This has got to be it. It's a form, I guess, of almost a Texas cloverleaf combined with a sharpshooter. He has Molina in a world of hurt. Molina must submit on this occasion, I'm sure, Mr. J.
Molina struggles to the ropes, though the fans are trying to get behind him. He's reaching and he finally makes it. He's like a man in the desert that finally sees that gasp, that last bit of water in front of him. He reaches for it and he can taste it. But right now, unfortunately, all that means what he has in front of him is one hell of a lot of desert. And that desert, his name is Chris Hero, dropping down with about 220 to 250 pounds right into that injured leg, dropping down again with his legs wrapped around, full weight in the knee, right into that knee joint and ankle joint of the left leg of Esteban Molina. Chris Hero knows exactly what he is doing out here. You want to call somebody a ring general, you want to say there's somebody that knows where he is at all times. Look at Chris Hero out there, tenacious, smart, aggressive, consummate, professional. Chris Hero can do it all, and unfortunately for Esteban Molina, he is having it all done to him out there in the center of the ring.
Certainly is. Chris Hero in total control. The crowd trying to get behind Esteban, who's putting those elbows right to the spine of Chris Hero. Chris Hero with a wicked look on his face at the moment, setting up Molina again. He's going to try. No! Like an ankle drag, if you will. And cinching on that. It's like a reverse toe hold. And yeah, it's in the cravat as well. It's the combination STF and cravat. Molina.
But I believe Molina's fighting it off. Molina's trying to come back. I don't think Hero could get all of it. I think Molina was smart enough to know that if he got that hooked in, he had nowhere to go. So Molina fought him off. But look at Hero now. He's standing on the back of those hamstrings. This does not look good.
Double stomp right into the knees by Chris Hero. Chris Hero stretches out that leg and just stomps on the knee this time. He's taken the ankle out. He's taken the wrist out. Now he wants to take the knee out. Esteban Molina in all sorts of trouble here at Cleveland tonight. Chris Hero perched up on the very top turnbuckle. Esteban knocks Hero off his perch, if you will, Mr. J.
Chris Hero crotched on the top rope. Esteban Molina has got to try something. This is his first chance in almost about 10 minutes of offense directed at him. Esteban staggers to the top, slow and unsteady, but he's up there. Hurricanrana off the top. Picture perfect. Drops Hero down, but Esteban has hurt himself. He can probably barely stand. I don't know how he's going to focus. I don't know how he's going to take advantage of this move. Hero down. Molina still not to his feet, but crawls over towards Hero. Hero back up on one knee. Esteban is as well. Hero back to his feet. Esteban struggles up and collects a big chop for his trouble. Returns. They're trading them out there now. Trading those big chops. Forearm shot from Molina. There's a second and a third and a fourth. Backs Hero back. Irish whip off. big back elbow staggers the man from Metropolis. Running clothesline doesn't take him down. Shot to the midsection, cinching him up. Rolling through with that rolling neck breaker. While's on top for the 2. And the no, about 2 3/4, Ed.
Esteban Molina on the comeback trail, back in the match. He's still favouring that injured left ankle, but he's trapped the arms of Hero. Hero escapes, gets behind him, picks him up. Back suplex by Chris Hero. Just pounded the head and shoulders of Esteban into the canvas. Hero drags up Molina. Picks him up. Huge power bomb. And here we have it now. It's the STF cravat combination by Chris Hero, cinching it in. Molina, I think he's in centering. I think he's got to submit, Jay.
He certainly would. I think it is in the interest of his career for Esteban to submit, and that was the big power bomb. That was the move that destroyed the arm of Mason Childs just last night. Esteban Molina, we know he's got an injured ankle. We know he's got an injured arm. I don't know if his arm took a jolt from that move as well. He's certainly going to be feeling it whichever way. Look at him struggle there. Look at that. Look at the way the human body is not meant to. I don't know how he did it, and I don't know where he is finding the strength to go on. But Esteban Molina has made the ropes and forced the break in. And now Chris Hero, I believe, trying to throw him to the outside, pushes him to the outside of the ring.
Gutsy showing by Esteban Molina, but Hero has picked that ankle. He's slamming it into the table. That injured left ankle of Esteban Molina gets rammed into the hard wooden table at ringside. And a stomp to the ankle for good measure by Chris Hero. Chris Hero, the consummate professional, taking apart young Esteban Molina. Hero whips. No, he gets reversed. Oh my God, over into the front row.
Oh my God, Chris Hero, I hope our insurance is paid up, because I think Chris Hero just rolled through half of our front row on that shot from Esteban Molina. Hero just went straight through the front row, rolled through. Hard to see from this vantage point exactly what's going on. I think Esteban's going after him though. Esteban Molina looks to be trying to take it into the crowd, or at least to bring Chris Hero back. That is exactly what he is doing. Hero brought back into the ring the hard way, introduced head first to the ring. Esteban Molina has once again, for only about the second or third time in this match, taken the advantage and is once again taking it to Chris Hero, rolling him back into the ring. Hero back to his feet first, shot to the side of the head, a big right hand, grabbing him now, going behind, setting up. He says it's time for the Hero's welcome. Unfortunately for him, Molina manages to go behind, reverses it for the 2, and the two, only about 2.5 there. Chris Hero manages to get that shoulder up. Chris Hero has been in the advantage position in most of this match. I think it is still too early to put him away, even with an impressive maneuver like that one.
If we were deciding this contest on points, such as professional boxing is, Chris Hero would be way ahead on points. Molina is perched up on the very top turnbuckle. The highlight zone of the ring, flying crossbody, roll through by Chris Hero into a cravat. A cravat, oh my God! A cravat suspended over the knees. Chris Hero with that suspended cravat. Surely Molina has to tap this time, Jay.
I can't imagine. He must be going on adrenaline alone out there. Must Molina. And then drops him down with it. That has got to do no wonders at all to his spine or to his neck. But somehow Molina, I think purely on instinct rather than anything else, manages to roll out, because I don't know how he's got anything left. Molina being brought back to his feet by Chris Hero, who I thought already had this match won just then. And there's the head scissors. The head scissors take him over. Chris Hero throws him out the way. The big rolling elbow. 2, 3. No! Still not enough. That has got to have been about 2 9/10. But Molina still manages to get that shoulder up. He still will not lie down for the 3 count. And Chris Hero cannot believe it. He cannot believe that Esteban Molina will not stay down for the 3.
Chris Hero whips Molina into the ropes, picks him up. Cradle, 1, 2, 3! Huge upset!
Oh my God! Oh my God! You want to talk about miracles in professional wrestling? You want to talk about underdogs in professional wrestling? Ladies and gentlemen, Esteban Molina! Esteban Molina gets the win!
Yo sé que está bueno, pero eres jinetera de veras. Pa' que veas que mi picada muchas bikinis, nena. Your ass looks so delicious. I wanna blow up where it's so delicious. So even if you're saucy like a pasta, I still need you, I'm a nasty bastard. Later on, real high tech in Baza. Put it in your bonbon at the casa. Chinese, Indian, Puerto Rican. Americano takeout, we get eaten. Put my boots on your falafel. Stick it in the pita and mix it well. I like the smell, shake it, shake it out.
One more time for your winner, Esteban Molina! Everyone, please thank the finalist, Chris Hero!
the pressure break. I've been getting by on nothing. How long, so long? Feeling like I lost my vision. Transmission full of dead ambition. Trying to sorta gotta get it together. I can't wait forever. of here, you got the best of me. I could never be that clever, even though it's now or never. Counting down the seconds, now it blows. 4, 3, 2, 1. Disappear without a trace. Caught up being out of space. Staring at the sun till I get the high so rise out of the atmosphere. I gotta disappear. I gotta get out of here. You got the best of me. Rise up and out of here into the stratosphere. I gotta get out of here. You got the best of me. Did I break down? Can we slow down? Wanna get out? I don't wanna be so out of the atmosphere. I gotta disappear. I gotta get out of here. You got the best of me. Rise up and out of here into the stratosphere. I gotta get out of here. You got the best of me. I could never be that clever, even though it's now or never. Counting down the seconds, now it blows. 4, 3, 2, 1. Disappear without a trace. Caught up being out of space. Staring at the sun till